Hello, friends, and welcome back to part 3 of our ongoing single-serving Delta Green adventure from Queen's Court Games. I'm Aaron, still your storyteller, and tonight we are finally on our way to suburban New Jersey for The Last Equation, a mathematic murder mystery scenario by Dennis Detwiller. If you want to check out the scenario or system for yourself, you can find a link by popping !scenario in chat, but of course you know that already because you've been here the whole time. Or you can take a peek at the show notes on podcast or YouTube. If you're catching up with this after the fact, don't worry. We still like you. You're a friend. Also, being a horror scenario, there might be topics that arise certain viewers or listeners might find uncomfortable or objectionable. You can get a list of those topics by typing !safety in chat or in the aforementioned show notes. We've all checked in. We've covered our session 0 bit. We know what's coming, but we want you in the audience to be safe as well. Now, our cadre of agents is standing by with orders from A-Cell, so let's meet the Mad Lads ready to take on the Mythos. Joining us from Everrealm Adventures as Agent Ilmatic, it is one of our favorite guests, Mark. Mark, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thanks a lot. My name is Mark Jimerson, y'all. Today I'm playing Agent Ilmatic, a former, well, I won't say what I used to be, but also play Farley's and Everrealm Adventures, all POC D&D actual play podcast. We have a very exciting one-shot being GM'd by the wonderful Connie Chung. So come check us out. You find me tweeting about my failed burrito inventions at More the Merrier.
I'm going to hit ! Cast. Yes. This is literally the 40th or 50th time I've done that, and I still cannot get it right. If you'd like to put ! Cast in chat, we'll have links to everyone's socials, Mark's, and the rest of ours as well. Speaking of the rest of us, taking a break from the astral seas as FBI gumshoe agent Ileus, Jursh. Jursh, welcome to the table.
Hi.
Are you going to be able to do this without +2 firearms or a bag of evidence holding?
What are you talking about? They're already on my character sheet.
We'll have to deal with that as it goes. Returning to Delta Green alongside Mr. Ileus as a recurring favorite psychoanalyst, now Agent Inda, QCG's very own Scarlet is at the table. Scarlet, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing absolutely swell. Any cool cosplays that we should know about?
Well, I still need a beard for this one. I need to get the beard. I'll do this. You have to imagine it.
We'll come back to that beard in just a moment because finally, lastly but not leastly, ready to finesse some firepower once again as Agent Not North, as Agent Ireland, as Agent North Ireland. It's V.
That's me.
Well, you've heard just a moment ago that Agent Inda needs a beard, and the best way for us to do that is for you to sling on by the Patreon. You could subscribe here on Twitch, but you'd spend more money, you'd get less stuff, we'd have to share it with Jeff, my head is a penis worm, Bezos. We don't want that. Slide on over to Patreon, click your way there, $5 a month, we can get Agent Inda a beard. Now, with all of that said, with your gratitude and your attention, we continue on to the adventure. The date is October 12th, 2010. And according to news reports, Michael Way, a graduate student in mathematics at the prestigious Columbia University, has just committed the murder-suicide of the decade. After acquiring a shotgun from parts yet unknown, he drove out of New York City to Teaneck, New Jersey, where he purchased ammunition for his weapon, then drove 15 miles further to the small town of Alliance. He entered the home of Dinah and Malcolm Ridgway and their 6 children at 2:28 p.m. Way, who has no criminal history, then slaughtered the family one by one, ending his rampage by chasing 18-year-old Michael Ridgway out onto Highway 6 and shooting him in the back in front of terrified eyewitnesses. Before police arrived, Way spray painted a number sequence on the pavement and then shot himself in the face with his own weapon. When the police arrived, they had an interstate murder-suicide with 9 bodies and no clear connection between the victims and the assailant. As far as their initial investigations have concerned, these people don't know each other at all. Which means they're up 1 dead mathematician, up 8 corpses, Up one spray painted number, down leads, down clues, down a motive. Now, that is a crime that is fairly strange, and as usual, that is where Delta Green comes in. You have all been flagged by A-Cell for activation to investigate the Ridgeway murders, figure out exactly what happened, and contain it as necessary. Now, Delta Green is a game of ordinary people, sometimes called upon to do extraordinary things, which means when your phone goes off, when you get the text message vibrate, when the email comes through your BlackBerry, you are up to something otherwise extremely dull. So, beginning with Agent Ireland, what were you up to when the program once again demanded your attention?
It's leg day. What can I say? Hitting the gym, you know. I pulled an early morning shift so I could have the afternoon. I have some stuff I had to take care of. Gym was first on my list. I've been a little tied to my desk lately, so a little physical activity, always welcome.
What's the exercise where, like, you lay on the thing and then you push with your legs up in
Leg
the
press? What?
air? Oh, you don't do leg press? Well,
No.
fine, Miss X.
No.
Apologies. What were you doing?
You have to do squats. Leg press is the layman's squat. People who can't squat leg press. That's all I'm going to say on the matter.
Very controversial take. If you have
Mhm.
other opinions, you can send them to legpress at queenscourt.games.
I'm going to go make that email address.
While she does that, Agent Ileus, why don't you tell us what you were up to when the message came in?
I was in the office, as always, just filing away an old case file, looking at some cold cases, and just having a bit of a tidy up. Actually, we're having a bit of a move around at the minute. We're moving some of the cold cases to a different division in a different state, and just to have a look at some of the cases that couldn't be solved.
Are you the kind of person who enjoys paperwork as a break from field work, or are you going insane, itemizing boxes and moving them around?
It started off that way, and then it's starting to end with this is never going to end. There's way too many boxes. Picture the Bruce Almighty file drawer opening up. That's how it feels like.
If you have comments or questions about paperwork, feel free to send them to filingcabinet@queenscourt.games. While V goes off to answer that particular email, Agent Inda, once again, Delta Green requiring your participation in something a little spooky. What were you up to?
Agent Inda has been actually out jogging. The last mission kind of fucked up with his head a little bit, so he's gone out and he's just enjoying the fresh air. Because he might seem like an old man, he's not. He's 42, and he's actually quite fit. Okay, so he likes to go out jogging.
All of our preconceived notions about Agent Inda, apparently wrong.
Oh, Inda's ripped. Okay, it's just hides it under his many cardigans.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like layer of fat, because same, but
If you have questions about Agent Inda's workout schedule, you can send them to dadbot@queenscourt.games. Last on our list to get the message, but not the least important by any means, Agent Ilmatic. The program requires you for work. What is it they are interrupting when your phone buzzes?
They're interrupting feeding a herd of cats. My partner runs a cat rescue and foster, and I am just helping out feeding the cats, but also playing with them because, damn, it helps me relax, helps me calm down.
How many cats are there?
About a dozen.
If you have
Various
questions
ages.
about... Oh, sorry.
No, various ages, kittens, cats, full-grown, oldies, they're all there.
Do you have a favorite?
There's a little black cat. It's tiny. It's full-grown, but it's tiny, and it makes like a chirping noise. It doesn't meow. It like tweets.
The activation noise, the little trill.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
To subscribe for more QCG Cat Facts, email us at catfacts@queenscourt.games.
I would like to take this time to let chat know that all of these emails are absolutely active. Please send us emails because that will make my day.
cannot wait to spend my tomorrow Googling and then sharing cat facts with the audience. It's going to be great. Well, you will arrive, each of you, to New Jersey as best as fit. Agent Inda, Agent Ireland, I think we canonically have established will have to fly in, likely to Newark Airport. Agent Ileus, Agent Ilmatic. If you're in the area, the Delaware, Massachusetts, up to maybe southern Maine, you could drive from that distance if you so chose, but I will leave that up to you. Regardless, you have been asked to rendezvous with one another at a roadside motel just outside the town. It is the kind of place where Delta Green agents can normally be spotted. The normal 2-story doors on the outside, L-shaped building, parking lot, a couple vending machines, if that's conjuring a specific image. So it will not be hard to find once you are in the area. There are 2 things you'll want to know before you get there, though. 1, this is an active multi-state federal murder investigation, so you are not the only federal agents in the area. In fact, you're not the only federal agents in this hotel. And second, in the time it took for Delta Green to activate you, get you plane tickets, and get you here, this has become a media circus. Fox and CNN and MSNBC, and then foreign correspondents from BBC and Al Jazeera, Reuters, everybody's here. Which means your mission is going to be extra difficult, because if there's one thing secret government conspiracies fighting the unknowable don't like, it's media attention. So with that stage already set, we know a couple of you have been assigned to this mission officially as part of your duties as federal agents, or federal contractors in Agent Inda's case. The other 2 of you really have no official business here. So how do you approach your rendezvous point? What precautions are you taking? What steps might you engage in to either bolster your identity as you come onto the scene, or to appear as innocuous as possible, as not to be swept up in the excitement?
I mean, Agent Ireland looks fairly innocuous anyway. My go bag is a gym bag, and I'm wearing a nondescript black hoodie. It's pretty easy to just look like somebody who's just coming and going out of the motel. Don't make eye contact, walk with purpose. It's the same tactic that you use to walk when like a guy is trying to get your attention, right? Just stare straight ahead and just walk like you're on a mission, and people will leave you alone.
Will they?
Some people will leave you alone.
Fair enough, and that does appear to be the case here. The hotel is occupied by busy professionals who they have more important things to worry about than that woman who looks like she can do hella squats is up to. What about the others of you? Agent Inda, you have a reason to be here, so you have less to worry about.
Well, hopefully I'll be given something to show that I'm a psychiatrist and I can assist with the investigation. I don't know if Delta Green will provide that, or I can just flash my diploma around.
I like the second idea a lot. But, and this is a good piece of information for you and others who might not want to reveal all of your personal information. Not right now, but I believe it's waiting for you in the hotel as a FedEx package with paperwork and identification necessary to show up at the crime scene without arousing suspicion. Those of you who have a real federal job, it will be easier, but Agent Ireland, you really don't want people knowing who you work for. And Agent Inda, it'll be difficult to conduct a private practice if you're on national television investigating murders. So the 2 of you will probably have a little bit more, including a little cutout dossier. It's disturbingly detailed. All the things you'd need to know to have a new identity that could survive at least a few days of scrutiny. Right down to dental records, IRS returns, and credit card receipts. It also includes the appropriate law enforcement IDs for Agent Ireland and professional credentials for Agent Inda.
Lovely.
Perfect.
As for the other 2 of you, you are gotta show up. What is the what's the style?
just like any other agent who's shown up, I drive up in the I say company car, the government car that I've been provided. I get out of the car, I go check into my room, and that's pretty much it for me. I'm when it comes to these types of cases, my office knows that I'm the best person to deal with them, so it kind of works well with being a part of Delta Green. So I know that I am fully allowed to be here.
Mm-hmm. And Agent Ilmatic, you are not fully allowed to be here. So how do you sneak yourself into town?
Agent Ilmatic's a federal agent, right? So he yeah, pulls in, has a sorry, I'm totally Smith. Because I thought I was a federal agent, I could be in there. Yeah, sorry.
You are, yes, and you are a federal agent. You are not
Yeah.
assigned to the case.
Oh, I'm not. Forgive me. Okay.
It would be a little suspicious for you to show up and be like, oh, hey, just, recreationally on my own time. Figured I'd help you solve some crimes.
I dig it then. In that case, I have taken some vacation days. Too easy, right? I've had way too much vacation time, and it's easy to just have a few days off. I drive in. I'm wearing what I think are civilian clothes, but actually khakis and a black collared shirt, which almost identify me immediately as a government employee, but they don't know exactly who I am. Go into the hotel, check in, and I wait in the lobby. I show up early and I wait in the lobby, and I'm trying to get a good idea of who's coming in and out, because I'm not sure why I'm there, but I do want to see who looks suspicious, who looks like they shouldn't be there.
This is an answer that we normally resolve with 1d100. We've established that Agent Ilmatic is first on the scene. Will the other three of you please do me the great pleasure of rolling 1d100, and we'll see who shows up first, and then we'll let Agent Ilmatic decide for himself if you are suspicious.
43.
Ready? That is a 27.
76.
51. Oh, sorry.
Well, Agent Ileus, then, you will be entering the lobby. Agent Ilmatic watching from a seat, seated like back to the wall, watching the joint kind of position, or?
Absolutely. Trying to be as incognito as possible.
Classic move. Maybe you have a brochure for the local tourist traps that you're just peeking over. I don't know that it's possible for you to distinguish immediately who is Delta Green and who is not. There's not like a secret ear pull you do when you walk in the room, and this organization only works because none of you know who the others are. So in that sense, Agent Ileus, you will look exactly like all the other federal agents, right? Showing up, suit, tie, he just looks like another employee of Uncle Sam here to do the job. Agent Ireland, on the other hand, what are you wearing when you come into the lobby?
I have a black hoodie, very nondescript. I have like black joggers and then black like combat boots, not like knee high, like ankle high. Think like Doc Martens, things like that. Just very blend in, don't pay attention to me clothing.
Which, given your experience, Agent Ilmatic might be the thing that tips you off as to her identity. There are a lot of federal agents, and then a suspiciously fit and aware professional-looking woman coming and wearing nondescript clothing. Agent Ireland, you already know what Agent Ilmatic is wearing, so I'm thinking you would be able to peg him as well. You both have pretty high human, if I recall.
Yeah, I'm 50. It's not the worst.
It's high enough. So then the question becomes, how do you get one another's attention? Agent Ireland, you already know this. There's always the challenge and response phrase. It would have been something given to you by Delta Green that verifies your identity. If you've seen, is it Band of Brothers or Saving Private Ryan? I can't remember one of them. It's always thunder, flash, and that's how you know they're not a Nazi. In this case, Agent Ireland, what would your challenge response phrase be? Your challenge phrase, rather. Sorry.
Can it be the same one I had earlier?
Well, it could have been, and I would have been fine with it because I've forgotten, but now you've called attention to it. So I don't know. Do you want to reuse that material?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's my challenge phrase, right? Like,
I'll go with that.
Yeah. So I'll walk up to Agent Ilmatic and I'll just say, I'll grab a brochure from behind the wall and kind of like thumb through it, and I'll just be like, "Never skip leg day."
Every day's a leg day.
Love it. Love it. You love to see it.
Those are the official Delta Green finger guns. Okay.
Yes. Sorry. That was a V finger gun. Definitely not an Agent Ireland finger gun.
Well, that does verify who you say you are, and you will be having that conversation right about the time I think the most conspicuous person shows up on the case. Agent Inda, have you ever done work for the government before? Well, the government, not like this government, but you know, like not the real government. That sounds the official government, not the top secret government.
Maybe a couple of psychiatry cases, just a couple of assessments, but nothing massive, nothing too big.
Both of you, will you please roll your awareness, Agent Inda and Agent Ireland? I would like to know which of you spots the other first.
97.
You are oblivious.
Agent Inda maybe more so. There's still a chance.
10?
There is
All
not
right.
a chance. There is not a chance. Yeah.
Incredible. So Agent Inda,
Wow.
you come into this this hotel lobby, and it's not we're not talking about like the Ritz-Carlton, right? It's very much like roadside attraction. There's just a few seats, a big wooden rack for local tourist traps, some old posters on the wall, that kind of thing. The carpet is dirty in various places, has not been replaced. It's also very thin, tread-worn. This place has seen a lot of traffic, and the owner obviously is not interested in the upkeep. But as this is going on, there are bodies flittering all about, and you enter, and then boom, just spike Agent Ireland immediately.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna, holding my little bag, just trot on over. Hello, my dear.
See, people have misconceptions about you because you describe the actions that you do with words like trot. I'm just throwing that out there.
I act like an old man, but I sit. Okay?
Oh god, it's like Master Roshi. So you Agent Inda walks up, stroking his beard, says, "Oh, hello, my dear," in that voice that he has. And thank you for laughing. And I turn and I take just like, "Agent Linda?"
Oh, it's Inda now. Oh, you know how it goes.
Sure. Right. Agent Ireland.
Ah, beautiful name. Yes, beautiful.
Thanks.
Agent Ilmatic, you are watching this reunion. It is unusual that Delta Green operatives would know one another from previous operations, but now you appear to be in that kind of situation.
So y'all two know each other?
Yeah, we've done a mission together.
I thought this was the kind of thing where, make no friends, erase all evidence of the past kind of thing.
We're not friends. We just did a mission together.
Oh, okay.
Just colleagues. Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet y'all too.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, Agent Ileus, having rolled, you will, going about your business, now see that these three people who do not appear they would otherwise belong together. That could be an indication. The only way to know for sure, though, is to use your challenge phrase. So, what is your challenge phrase?
I just walk up to him and do the finger guns. No, I don't. My challenge phrase, I don't know what my challenge phrase would be, actually. I've never really had to do one before, because normally we're told to go to a particular area in order to meet up, and it's normally a quiet area where there's not normally other federal agents around. So I would just walk right up to them and just say, Are you all supposed to be here?
Just as much as you are.
Yeah, excuse me? Excuse you.
Excuse you too.
I guess we're both excused then.
Yes.
Weird challenge phrase.
Weird challenge phrase.
Weird.
Super
Do you-
weird.
Do you work here or something? What are you doing?
I'm one of the federal agents on this particular on a particular case that is here. None of you are journalists by any chance, are you?
No.
No?
No, dear boy, no.
No? Okay. No, that's fine. Right. Yes. I am just going to walk away for a moment and just go look at the flyers on the wall, and I'm just going to listen in on what they're saying, because yeah, it's weird. It is odd for me. Like I said, I always end up going to a place where there's not other agents around, so being able to distinguish who is a Delta Green agent or not is going to be difficult, I think, to start off with.
We will find out soon enough. Agent Ileus and Agent Inda, you do have someone you need to report to here. So, despite that exchange, at this point, Agent Inda, I can only assume, gives a dramatic wink and be like, "Well, it was nice to not meet you," and then goes trotting off. But it is important for the two of you to know that the agent in charge of this investigation is named Aiden Canor, Canor. He is a 47-year-old African-American man, tall and thin, never caught without his steel-rimmed aviator sunglasses and a work-tailored black suit. The kind of thing that's been professionally sewn, that way it hides the gun bulge and has the kind of freedom of movement that if he needed to break off into a sprint, he could do that. Agent Ileus, since you are a member of the FBI already, and I think Agent Ilmatic as well, will you roll bureaucracy for me? I'll see if you know anything about this character ahead of time.
Bureaucracy. That's actually quite good.
19.
That's a 6.
Excellent. So both of you would know would know the history here. Agent Canner is has a reputation for being easygoing if you are professional. He expects agents under his command to perform above and beyond, to be completely candid, to keep the channels of information flowing, and to just be really nose to the grindstone. The only time you've seen people kind of get into trouble working with him is when they were trying to be evasive or obfuscate, or if they were maybe not slacking on that, even slacking, yes, but also maybe even just if they're just average performers. Then he likes to really get in there with that corporate, what can I do to help you succeed attitude. So if you want to keep Agent Canner off your back, you are going to have to participate fully in this investigation to the best of your abilities, or he might start asking questions about why the Home Office decided to send you both here when he has plenty of bodies around.
Okay, sounds good to me. I will grab my room key, and I will head to my room and drop my stuff off first, before coming back with a notepad and pen, and I'll begin asking around other agents that might be dotted around, trying to get inkling as to what they've already found out, looking around the perimeter to see if there are any journalists around where we are as well, to see if they're trying to get any information, and keeping an eye out for the 3 strange people that I saw a minute ago, because I have my suspicions about them.
One of them will not be hard to find because Agent Inda also is a part of this investigation and will appear as such. Both of you, as you check in, Agent Canner has been waiting. So Agent Ileus first, when you go into your room to drop things off, when you come back out, he's sitting nearby looking busy in the way that says, oh, weird seeing you here. But it's obvious that he's kind of been loitering in the area with the clipboard or some notebooks and things like that. Agent Inda, I don't know what your attitude towards this kind of thing is. Would you be trying to escape this meeting or attending eagerly?
I actually enjoy the meetings. I need as much information as possible. I'm a little sponge man, so yep. I trot happily.
Well, Agent Ileus, you will be able to get a great amount of information that you wanted just generally from this conversation. Agent Canor has no idea who either of you are, but orders are orders, and he's a company man. So he introduces himself fully and freely. Hi, Agent Canor, agent in charge. You are... Now, this part is important because Agent Inda, you've got a fake identification. Agent Ileus, you are a known agent. So if you lie to him, then it is possible he's going to go looking for that name and it'll get into trouble because he's trying to find your personnel reports. Or you might bump into someone here who knows you from a different thing and is like, oh, Agent Smith. And you're like, no, Ileus, you're thinking of the Virginia Smiths, and it's going to get weird. So you have to decide on the spot, are you running with your Delta Green ID or are you running with your actual FBI agent ID?
Agent Dawson, how do you do?
Nice to meet you. I've heard good things about you from headquarters down in DC. They said you were going to be a huge asset to this case, and huge asset. I'm pretty sure I said that correctly, but I might not have. I think you're going to be a huge asset to this case, and I'm glad to have you on board. Have you ever worked with... And then he gestures to you, Agent Inda.
Hello. Yes. I'm Professor Geller. How do you do? My real life ID.
Yes, Professor. I'm glad you've come along. The FBI has its own profilers, of course, but we need a strange set of eyes on this one. The circumstances are just a little bit out of our kind of expertise, so maybe having some fresh outside experience will help us crack this one open. Have you both had a chance to be briefed yet?
Not yet, no, I've just arrived.
All right. Well, we have an ops center down in the, well, let's call it a conference room. I'll get you sorted out there. And he will take the both of you. Now, at the risk of going through an entire conversation, having you ask all the questions going through that, we know the basics from the initial piece of the scenario. Are there questions that you have about what's been going on? Agent Canor will answer them to the best of his ability.
Do we know if there was any connection between the suspect and the victims?
Nothing at all as far as we've been able to find out so far. He was at Columbia University in New York City. I mean, as far as we can tell, he's never been to this city. He's never met anyone here. I was holed up in his dorm room until he decided to do this.
What about roommates? Was he acting strangely beforehand? Was he having difficulties with his studies?
We haven't been able to pursue those leads all the way so far. We have a couple names that the storyteller will get to you as soon as he remembers where that page is and finds them. People who he knows in the area. There were 2 graduate students that he was close with and also an academic advisor.
Have they been contacted?
No. So the murder happened yesterday at about 2 p.m. So it's been essentially 12 working hours since then, and the FBI has not been able to locate those people yet. You're only about 45 minutes away, an hour away from New York City, so you could get there and handle that interview. But yeah, that's where we are so far.
Any sort of news as to his car? Was the car his? Was it a rental?
Yeah, car was his. It was registered in his name. We've already searched the thing inside and out. Nothing especially interesting about it.
Any what's the word I'm looking for here? Any background checks done on any illnesses or anything within the family?
No, mental health screen came back completely fine. I mean, he was a bit of a weirdo in the way that mathematicians are, but I mean, aside from that normal nerdy bit, no offense, ma'am. Sorry, no offense, sir. But no drug use, no alcohol. His tox screen came back totally clean. Something inside this kid just snapped, and he decided today was the day, and I'll be damned if I have even the slightest idea why.
what do we know about the victims? Who exactly are they? What do they do professionally? The parents.
At this point, he kind of not wanders. It's deliberate as he walks across the conference room to a big board that's up. Got things poked into it. I forget the exact name for it. It's not a whiteboard, but the kind of cloth kind you can stick things into for that little bit of displaying. It says the parents were Malcolm and Dinah Ridgway, aged 44 and 43. The children were Michael, aged 18, Clark, aged 16, Dean, aged 14, Mary, aged 13, Alice, aged 12, and Claire, aged 10. As best as we can tell, they are either the most secretive, accomplished criminals in the history of the universe, or they are just ordinary, boring people. Dinah is a school teacher. She works at the local high school. Malcolm is a foreman at one of the few steel mills that still operates in the area.
Anything on the older children?
No, I mean, a little bit of minor stuff. I think the oldest one got picked up for a few grams of pot at some point. Just the local sheriff throwing his weight around. But aside from that, kids all appear standard stuff. Basic Americana.
Fascinating. Mm-hmm. What about witnesses? Were there any anyone see anything or see the snap, as it were?
Yeah, we have the neighbors. They've all given statements. When Michael showed up, he went straight into the house. No one has anything on that. Then the gunshots came and people started peeking through the windows. A couple even dared to come outside. That's how we know that he chased the oldest one, the 18-year-old, out into the front yard before gunning him down. They also witnessed Michael spray painting something on the street in front of the house. He gestures to a picture, and on it you see like someone climbed up onto a ladder looking down onto the street photo, because in several feet tall, bright orange letters have been spray painted the numbers 992229989212.33.3. I will post that in chat. You do not have to worry about writing it down.
It seems awfully long to be coordinates of any sort. So it's obviously some form of a math equation.
Well, your guess is as good as mine. I am not a math magician. We've got someone coming in from the FBI, but she's going to be another day coming off of some project, a joint task force thing. I have no idea what it means, if it means anything at all. Hopefully she'll be able to help us figure that out.
It's a shame that this was his last equation.
Boo.
Boo! That was bad, and you should feel bad.
You're not there, shut up. Okay, so Michael managed to spray paint that after taking a shot to the back, or he done it before he was shot?
No, the Way is the one who spray painted it. After he had killed each of the Ridgways, he then spray painted those numbers on the sidewalk before turning the gun upon himself.
Oh, okay, sorry. I thought you said that Michael was the one that sprayed it. Okay, no, that's fair enough. Has anybody looked into where he purchased the shotgun and the ammunition from? From the brief that I have read, he purchased those from two different locations. Is there any witnesses who can state his mental state at the time of buying them?
The ammunition, yeah, we tracked that to a town nearby, but he seemed perfectly lucid at that point. There was no reason that the clerk saw to deny him ammunition. Now, the weapon, that is a stranger piece that we haven't had a chance to get too far into. It's a Remington 870 police shotgun. We don't have the serial number yet. We're trying to look that down.
Police shotguns are quite hard to come by in a for general sale, are they not?
Yeah, and based on this one, it's an older model too, 1950s, 1960s. So I mean, no idea where he could have gotten it. But like I said, we'll have to chase that down. At the moment, and he kind of gestures out towards the window, we've got some circling vultures that are making it hard to get work done. That, I think, is why they decided to send you down here to bolster our manpower, yeah?
Yes, definitely.
Well, look, both of you, I wish I could give you more direct instructions, but here's the thing. I operate a pretty loose ship. So long as you're doing your work, bringing things in, trying to bring this case home, then I'm going to try to stay out of your hair as best as possible. Have the two of you, though, scheduled to go see the crime scene as soon as possible. There are local police keeping folks out of the way, but when you flash your badge and tell them what you're there for, they should let you inside.
That sounds good. Are you happy to work with me, sir?
So far. Hopefully it stays that way.
Good. What about yourself? Sorry, I didn't catch your name. What was it again?
Oh, Professor Geller.
Geller, okay.
Look forward to working with you.
Yes. Canna, are we okay to peruse this board of yours for a little bit and see if there's any details or anything that we might need to potentially look at into ourselves before going to see the crime scene?
Absolutely. This is all the evidence we've managed to get so far. If there's anything here that'll help you out, then by all means.
Okay. Just get on and do that then. And I'm just going to sort of turn and start looking through the notes, picking up little bits, corners to read underneath, and, just looking over crime scene photos, basically anything that's on the board I just want to take note of. And
we'll give you his official FBI phone number for his cell phone in case you have any questions or things pop up. Agent Inda, Agent Ileus, as you go through the conspiracy board as it exists right now, trying to piece this together, we turn our attention to Agents Ireland and Ilmatic. Still in the lobby, or have you moved to more discreet quarters?
Oh, I would like to get into my room and drop my stuff off. I don't want to carry my go bag with me the whole time. So as the other agents walk off, I'll take that time and do the same. You're muted.
Damn. Yo, I'm still in the lobby. I ordered a drink. Is this a hotel that has a bar?
No, this is the kind of hotel that, if you're lucky, has a working ice machine.
Oh, then I don't have a drink. I got one with me though. I'll pull out my hip flask and have a sip or two behind the newspaper.
Discretion as always, and thankfully most people here are too busy, as we've said, to be paying attention to you. Did you make an arrange to meet with one another? Because it's going to make it difficult to play the game if the four of you go off in four different directions. So is there a plan to compare notes about what you know so far?
I mean, yeah, once I drop my stuff off at the room, I assume that Agent Ilmatic was just still in the lobby. So I'll go drop my stuff off, come back, see him sitting there, nursing his flask. Weird choice, but okay, cool. And I'll walk up and I'll ask him, we should probably not, and I'll just gesture to the room and look around.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people listening, so we should.
And the longer we stay here, the more suspicious we look anyways. Yeah, let's definitely get out of here.
Yeah. And we haven't seen Ileus and Inda at all since they.
No.
Okay.
This is happening simultaneously. So as you two are having this conversation, they're getting the dress down about, I run a tight ship, and so on.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would hope that we would meet back up. I mean, Inda and I know each other, obviously, we know that we're Delta Green. I'm assuming Ileus is also Delta Green at this point. So hopefully Inda won't leave without coming to find us. So I would like to discuss with Ilmatic what if there's anything that we can find out ahead of time, anything extra. But yeah.
Well, for the sake of it, if you have specific questions, I can tell you if any of that would have come from ACEL. Otherwise, you'll have to wait until you cross wires with the rest of the team.
Yeah, I don't think I would have anything based on what we've gotten. Because ACEL gave us everything that they have. So without any new information, it's kind of a silly thing.
No questions, no new information. All right then. So
I mean,
agent into agent. If there is information, I cannot give it to you unless I know what you want. So
I mean, Ileus and Inda asked the questions, and like I assume that we will eventually. There's no point in me also asking the questions. Is my point, right?
Yeah, but if there's other stuff, if there are things they did not ask that you would like to know.
Oh, I don't have anything that's come to mind.
No,
Okay.
me either.
So the two of you will wait patiently, and Agent Ileus and Agent Inda, you will wrap up with the board. Unfortunately, there's not a lot to see. They have not made very much progress on this investigation, in part because there is very little to investigate. There's murders, but normally you're looking for, why do these two people not like each other? What's the motive? Where did all this come from? The violence, and there's nothing. There's no connections that the FBI has been able to figure out so far. Local law enforcement is cooperating, but there's a little bit of ineptitude. So there's not a lot of information to work with. We will say, though, that for the benefit of Delta Green and this investigation, eventually, that you, the four of you, well, maybe not, the three of you at least, will reconvene. Agent Ileus, have you figured out what's going on yet?
I think I have, because I would have heard Agent Geller introduce themselves as Agent Inda before. So that, yeah, that's definitely, I clocked onto that 100%.
Then, as the four of you find a time and a place to sit down together, maybe for a burger, maybe for a beer, I will let you in on what the actual expectations are. We covered it in the small mission brief, but the number one objective is to destroy whatever got into Wei's head. Something weird got a hold of this guy. Nobody snaps like this for no reason. If there were any semblance of a lead, any little bit of an explanation, you wouldn't be here. So the fact that it seems entirely random, well, Delta Green doesn't believe in random. Once you figure out what that thing is, you have to destroy every possible instance copy of it. If people know it, you need to figure out who knows it, evaluate them as a risk, and forward that information on to Delta Green. The third part is this murder needs to get solved, because the longer people look into it, the more likely someone's going to open a file they shouldn't or make a lucky connection, and then they are going to find out that either A, they're either going to find out, like, A, the thing that made Wei go crazy and then go crazy themselves, or B, they will find out about a top secret government conspiracy conducting a parallel investigation. So you have a twofold mission. One, to solve this case, and two, to make sure the police don't. By manipulating the evidence, destroying evidence, creating evidence, whatever you need to do to put this one down so it is just a normal, boring, unexplained case, you are authorized to do that by your superiors. Just don't get caught. Because if you are in the evidence locker lighting things on fire in a trash can, Delta Green's not going to come to court to save you. And not for nothing, impersonating a federal agent is a felony with a minimum 15-year sentence. So
I'm fine there. That's all right.
Love that.
So you exchange the facts as you have them. Michael Wei is a graduate student at Columbia University. It's a short drive away. They have not made contact with any of his friends. and no one has been able to get there so far to go investigate what's happening. The crime scene exists. If there's information there, if there's facts there, the FBI hasn't found it. Maybe you, with your Delta Green perspective, will. There's a murder weapon that Wade does not own, as far as they can tell. And I don't know. There's just this weird series of numbers spray painted in 3-foot-tall letters on a suburban street.
So, pleasure to meet you all. My name is Agent Ileus.
Ireland.
Ireland, hello.
Ilmatic.
Hello there.
Inda.
Inda, yes, okay. One thing that strikes me, or the two things that strike me the most with this, is the set of numbers. Also, the shotgun. And the shotgun is not a regular issue shotgun that you purchase from a public store. It seems to be an outdated police shotgun. I'm wondering if these numbers might be part of the serial on the shotgun. Possibly. We all know what we're here for. You know, we know what the actual mission is. Maybe whatever it is that has caused this to happen came from that shotgun.
So your working theory is the shotgun, like what, possessed the guy to kill a whole family?
There are guns out there that can do some really strange things to bodies. Had a case in Tennessee not that long ago where there was a weird weapon and a mind-altering substance. So, you know, I mean, I'm not saying that this shotgun is a lightning gun, but it's, you know. Anyway.
Haunted gun, not the worst theory you've heard in Delta Green.
I did hear a theory where there was this group of agents who went off to, I think it was Virginia, during a storm, and there was this relic or something that got out of that and got into somebody, and it was a whole thing. Someone died. Lots of people died.
Yeah.
Oh, you heard about that, did you?
Yes, yes, I did. I heard it was a bit of a sticky situation.
More than sticky, my good man. More than sticky.
It's a very deep cut in joke to a show that nobody else has seen.
I know.
They are all referring to a play test we did of a different scenario.
I'm so
joke.
sorry.
That's a joke just for us.
Sorry about that, people. But
Well, we need to go check out the crime scene. We should also, I mean, I know that he killed himself, but there's probably still a body. I don't know if we'd be able to have access to it, but if there's something going on, something weird, and I'll check my pocket and make sure that there's that little spray bottle still inside it, and it is. Just in case there's anything weird going on with his body. You know, if we can take a look at the records, or maybe do a quick once over if they haven't started an autopsy yet. Like a full, complete rundown, you know?
If we can with the body, it might be a good idea to make it look like drug-induced psychosis.
Yep.
Tox screen already came back negative, though, right? So
Yep,
that
no drugs, no mental
Yeah.
illness.
Good one.
Is anybody particularly skilled when it comes to using computers? I'm not, I'm afraid.
I know my way around a computer. I'm better with signals, generally,
Me?
but
Well, as part of our third task, maybe there's maybe there's a way that we can manipulate emails between the victim, the father maybe, and the suspect, and make it seem like it was a hate crime fashion or a crime.
I
something,
I think for now that is putting the cart before the horse. It's good to have these ideas on the back burner, but we are getting too into the details on a thing we do not know anything about right now.
No, that's fair enough. The other issue that we're going to have to tackle is going to be the fact that only 2 of us here are actually on this case. Well, we can't. I don't think it's wise for us to take the 2 of you with us to crime scenes. Maybe the pair of you could work the journalist angle. I don't see what you can learn from them. Get to the more public places that haven't been closed off by the police, like maybe find out where the shotgun was purchased from, maybe, or acquired from, if anything.
I don't think we'd have access to the shotgun at all. I'm guessing they have that down at the police station. Would that be a fair guess, Aaron?
Yeah, it would have been taken into evidence with the New Jersey State Patrol. They have an evidence locker. As for what can people who do not go to the crime scene can do, they have not been to Michael Way's dorm room where he lives.
Yeah.
So the other thing that we could do is if you take the number sequence and go to this Michael's dorm room, from the reports that myself and Inda have read so far, they've not been there yet. So that could be a place that you could go without drawing any attention to yourselves. And maybe if you can find his mathematician teacher, they might be able to help with that equation.
Well, there's the elephant in the room. The numbers. That might be the thing that ties all this together. Any thoughts on that?
I know a little bit of mathematics, but I'm not. As I said, to me, this looks like it could either be a location, but it seems the code sequence is too long, or it could be a serial number. But this is why I'm saying, if you go speak to the people at his university who were teaching him, they might know it, or they might be able to shine a bit more light on it.
I mean, we can't do anything involving the crime scene. We can't get evidence. We can't go to the morgue. We can't do any of that. So that's our only option right now. So we'll go poke around where we can.
Check out his dormitory, just in case. And if there's any evidence there, collect it.
Whatever I can find.
And while you're doing that, myself and Inda will go to the crime scenes, and we can go to the morgue. We might even be able to get access to the shotgun and have a look at it.
Don't let it possess you, or whatever.
Be careful not to touch it.
Yeah.
Yes. Put gloves on.
Gloves are a good idea in any case, because your fingerprints are registered with the federal government. Three of you for sure. Agent Inda probably less so. But the other 3 of you definitely have a file somewhere in some bunker in the archives where they keep the Ark of the Covenant. So it would not take the FBI very long to find out you had been mucking with something if you decided to muck with it. That said, we've established the basic facts. We have a small plan of action. It's been about an hour. Why don't you say we take our first little break here? We will refresh ourselves, and when we come back, we'll see if the haunted gun theory holds up to scrutiny. Back in a second, folks. Well, friends, we're back hydrated, and unhydrated is a polite euphemism for describing what we've all done over the break. We have come... We're all back and ready to go. Before that happens, though, before 2 of our agents proceed to the crime scene and 2 proceed to Columbia University, there is something I need 2 of our agents and 2 of our agents alone to do. Agent Ileus and Agent Ireland, will you each roll 1d100 for me?
Why?
I'll tell you when you're older.
Oh,
Would you roll?
what'd you roll?
37.
66.
Okay.
It was nice knowing you guys. I had a good run with this character.
Well, we'll begin with Agent Ileus and Agent Inda. The crime scene is not too far away from the hotel. It is in a suburban neighborhood, the boring kind of American, miles and miles of cul-de-sacs and identical housing slapped up, little houses made of ticky-tack, as the song goes. No, little boxes is actually little boxes made of ticky-tack. You can Google it if you don't believe me. It was also the theme song to Weeds. Anyway, dude, go. You can. I see the face you're making. You're not. You have time.
Yep, I'm gonna go right now.
I'll see you in a minute. The bodies have been removed from the scene already. They're being kept at the morgue for autopsy if it is needed, but there are chalk outlines and such along the way. What to say aside from that? I'm trying to decide if the best way is to let you navigate through the scene, or for me to kind of just like tell you what's there and let you go. Do either of you have an opinion?
I'd like to see what sort of positions the bodies were in when, they were they left in the position they fell in, or were they placed in a position like maybe in the symbol of a number or something?
Sorry, go ahead.
That was it.
They were not like left in a position by the police. They were killed in various places, but then the murderer did not position them or set them up in some kind of fashion. I will give you this image coming up in the chat. We'll probably have to put it up on the stream as well. This is a diagram of where the various bodies were found. Missing from this, of course, is Michael Ridgway. I believe his name is still Michael, who was killed outdoors. So the house has an entryway that to the left-hand side, there's a living room, open floor plan connected to a dining room / breakfast nook area. There's a small half wall directly ahead of you that leads to a kitchen. If you turn right, there are 2 bedrooms down, 1 bathroom. That is the home. It's a split level. There are stairs that lead downstairs, but no murder was committed there. All of the bodies were upstairs at the time. Dinah, Malcolm, Clark, Dean, Mary, Alice, and Claire all died in or around the kitchen. Michael was the last one. He was upstairs at the time of the murder, fled outside, and was killed. Investigating from here, we're going to have to rely on your skills. So, what is it you're looking at? And then we'll decide how you might be able to find it and what kind of information comes out. For the sake of... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say I'd like to use my criminology to look around to see if there is any sort of pattern in the way that he may... To see, as random as this whole thing is, there's got to be some sort of a pattern to these killings in some way. That's the logical thinking that I'm thinking of. This can't just be a completely 100% random act. There's got to be some sort of thing that connects everything here together.
Mm-hmm. Well, by all means, go ahead. Throw down the math rocks, and we'll see if your criminology manages to win the day.
Thank you. 60 out of 50.
That, unfortunately, is not going to do it. You see essentially just the evidence of a wholesale slaughter.
That makes me feel very uncomfortable because everything has been random up to this point. There seems to be no thought pattern to it. Like it doesn't even seem like it's an instinct thing. It just looks like somebody's just, and it just makes me very uncomfortable.
Agent Inda, are there skills that you would like to rub on the crime scene looking for clues? You are muted at the moment.
Sorry. Do you have forensics?
Forensics would be a good one if you want to give it a shot.
Yes, please. Just
see if you do.
I want to see if, I don't know, if he surprised them or they were, I don't know, if they fought, if they were trying to run, or if they were, like still. That he was having any kind of verbal impact on them or something like that.
Sure. Well, let's see what the dice have to say.
Okay. Ooh. It's a 9.
It's going to be very embarrassing for Agent Ileus, the professional federal agent who has been to a very intensive school on how to investigate crime scenes, and you're just sitting in the middle of it, hands on your head. I believe the phrase in your language would be, "Oh fucking hell, mate!" And then while you're doing that, the old man trapped in a young man's body, Agent Inda, just beard stroking. This is quiet. And we'll come up with a little bit more information. Based on what you know about the bodies that you would have gathered from the notes kept on the board, Way fired 16 times in the house. He shot each victim once, except for Clark, who was shot twice. Based on the blood spatter as well as holes in the wall, it is apparent that Way used both slugs and buckshot. Forensics would tell you that he shot Clark twice because the first shot, which was buckshot, failed to kill him. He chambered a slug instead. Now, for those of you who don't know firearms, he would have to, one, have reloaded at least once. The Remington 870 does not carry 16 shells. And second, it would probably not be alternating load in that stock, that he would have shot, changed a round over, shot, changed a round over, and gone through it. That it is deliberate, calculated. There's no one in the world who would show up and have loaded a shotgun just randomly like that. There's also really no good reason to alternate the shells in a shotgun like that. By itself, that information is fine. Each person shot once, except for Clark, who was shot twice, but that leaves one round left over. Agent Ileus, you made a roll a little bit ago. This information actually will come out to you, because it seems Way also fired once at no target. There's a 1970 style tan and green horror show of a stove that was struck by buckshot. That by itself could be anything, right? He just missed. Someone was running, or he had a unintentional discharge of the firearm, not someone who knows how to use a shotgun that well. And that is likely what the FBI thinks. You, on the other hand, notice that the clock has stopped at 2:28:13 p.m. That number is interesting because you can create it by multiplying several of the numbers in the sequence that is published. Sorry, not multiplying. 2:28:13 p.m. is a series that appears in what is spray painted out on the street. And when you make that realization, here is another seemingly random coincidence. I will tell you what your role is for, because it turns out you have a little mathematics skill, don't you, sir?
I do, yes.
and based on the result, you passed that roll. Yes?
Yes.
So there is something about this number that is special. There is something about this number that has lodged itself in your head. And the clock is only the beginning of the places that you will see this number. Joshua gets the distinct privilege of rolling our very first sanity check.
Oh, yay. I need to find where my sanity is on here, actually. Where is it?
On the left-hand side, underneath where your POW and your dex is.
Ah, yes. Okay. Roll that now. That is a 12, I think. Is that a 1? Yes, it is. It's 12.
Not too bad. You'll just lose 1 for now.
Okay.
Aside from those 2 pieces of information, the clock, which is strange in a coincidence way, and the ritualistic is not a word I want to use because I don't want to carry an occult connotation, but the deliberate and highly specific nature of the attack with the various rounds, aside from those 2 things, not anything else here. There's no cache of drugs in the basement that would explain something. There's no book that got left behind. It is just a murder scene filled with the inexplicable and the random. Well, random depending on your perspective.
So we have the numbers 228, 13. Those numbers appear on the sequence, which was spray painted outside. 9 people were killed, which is also one of the numbers. Although I don't know if that has any sort of significance to this at all. The shotgun shot that you said missed and hit the stove.
Mm-hmm.
You said that was the one that hit the clock as well.
It hit the stove, which stopped the clock.
Oh, is the clock on the stove?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, right. Okay, so I have a feeling that might be a little more deliberate than what the other people are, the FBI are thinking. Mainly because it doesn't, looking at where the bodies were, it doesn't look like anybody had come from the kitchen area when they were shot. Also, with the way that he would have had to have reloaded these shots, they should have been able to have got away. Or at least spread out a lot more, I would have thought. Which is probably why, I think Michael was the eldest, was that his name? I think that's how he was able to actually get out. What's your thinking on this, Inda?
What is the house address? Is that number ringing any bell?
No. It's not even written down in the scenario.
Okay. If the amount of victims was part of the equation, how did you know these people? That's what fascinates me. How did you know that many would be here?
Could be the thing that was in his head, if it was in his head, whatever it is, that might have known.
So that could have known. That's even more fascinating and creates even more questions.
Yes.
Do we have any way of contacting the other agents?
Oh yeah, you'd have burner phones, unregistered, just track phones.
Anything that we pick up or discover, I'm going to text to Agent Island. Really quick. Oh no, we discovered this last time. I text really. Takes a while, but the info goes through. Yeah.
Is there a way for me to use my search skill to see if there is any particular pattern with the blood spray?
You don't have to roll to search. There's nothing there. So
No.
far as clues that can be found here, you've found the two. That the murders were conducted in a very deliberate fashion. One shot, one kill throughout the house. He would have had to have reloaded. Buckshot and slugs being used. That's just strange. And then the clock.
The clock is what has me the most puzzled with the type of case that we're dealing with. I'm wondering if there are other numbers that match the ones that were spray painted outside at other places that we need to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I will let you formulate a list of things you might want to investigate numbers-wise as we turn our attention to Agents Ireland and Ilmatic. This would be a very boring game if I just had you driving through New York traffic to get to Columbia for an hour. What do you say we dispense with that and begin with you arriving at his dorm room, yeah?
I like that idea.
Do it.
Very well. It's been a while since I've been in a... That's not true at all. I was in college quite recently. The only person standing in your way there would be the dorm monitor, like RA person who's working the desk for $15 minimum New York City wage as a student job. And that is not the kind of person who is going to stand between the badge you have and the answers you need. So it does not take any effort at all to be like, yeah, I'm here on business, and him being like, yeah, I definitely don't want to talk to the FBI any more than I need to. But we will say that you will have received the text messages. Don't want to skip over that. Those would have happened while you were driving. Hopefully not the person driving reading them. Do not, if you're watching Queen's Court games, text and drive.
It's 2010. It's a different time. People were texting and driving like crazy back then. They didn't know.
So let's talk about the dorm room. First things first, it is pretty, I want to say like dour. It's a little depressing. It's a small dorm inside the John Jay Hall. John Jay Hall is like a resident skyscraper in the campus because there's no like two-story buildings in this part of New York. Much taller. There's also a wing of it that holds the Fu Foundation School of Engineering and Applied Sciences, which also includes the fancy math programs, which he was attending. The dorm room is small, modest, and messy. It is clear just by looking around that Wei had no social life. Every single surface is covered in half-read books, most of them folded open at a random point. His bed is a futon dropped in the middle of the room. The only other furniture is a rickety IKEA desk with a nondescript gray box computer and a cheap monitor on it. There are piles of papers covered in various numbery scrawls stacked in every spare little bit of flat area. Agent Ireland, with your human, it would be obvious that this is the kind of person where bedroom was just a rest stop. It was the place you went to sleep. There was other work to do. There is nothing obviously unusual about the area. Again, you don't find like a ritual doll hanging from the center or things painted in blood on the walls. Nothing like that. So what is it that will draw your eyes next?
The computer, obviously. I mean, what college kid doesn't put their life on their computer?
It was 2010. It was a different time.
Yeah.
MySpace? Was that MySpace era?
Oh, I don't know. I think MySpace was...
Nah, that was dead.
It was done.
That was early Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook, yeah.
Well, you will find the computer is a very poorly maintained component-built machine. It's still running Windows XP. There is no password. All the directories are open. So there's nothing hidden there. Is there something in particular you're looking for? A program you'd start with?
I mean, I would check emails. Would be the first thing. and then see if I could check like recently edited documents, like a notepad or something where maybe he was keeping notes about science, math, any weird numbers, things like that.
Well, the whole place is full of weird numbers. You have enough SIGINT that I'll say you can recognize most of the scrawling is very complicated differential equations, like theoretical math that he's just mucking around with, but the email will give you some semblance of what was going on. There are emails back and forth between Wei, a graduate student, and people in his classes and his professors as he was working on his various theses. That in of itself is pretty small, not a big deal. The last email sent the morning of the murders is the one that will draw your attention. He sent an email to mathgeeks@googlelists.com, a group of 12 mathematics students and teachers from around the world who are interested in mathematical puzzles. The email lays out what Wei claims is the complete and complex solution to the Laqueus puzzle, Laqueus. With a little bit of cursory investigation, this group is just for like not brain teasers, because that's math that I can do, but like big brain, super wrinkly brain teasers, very complicated and esoteric math that may not have any actual use in the world, but is fun to muck around with for some people, allegedly.
What exactly is the Laqueus problem?
You have no idea. That is not something you would have heard of before.
Does a Google search pop anything up?
Yeah, if you fired it off into Google, you would get a little bit of information. It is tied to a gentleman named Fascius Cladan, who is a Brussels-born mathematician. But in terms of like just Wikipedia Google, it's just gonna be like a stub article that like the text saying this article should be expanded, here's how, is longer than the article itself.
Sure.
He was lived between 1535 and 1561. He published 6 books on astronomy and mathematics, the last one on cosmology, which was known as Libri Plures Admiratio, the Book of Many Wonders.
What's going on in his search history? Anything that will point me in any direction?
No, not there. I mean, well, it would point you in some directions that I don't think you want to talk about.
Okay. All right. Has he been talking to Skip Mills? What's going on? Anything in his recycle bin? Anything? Nothing.
No, as far as the computer, you've gotten
all the clues. Okay.
Ancient Ilmatic, anything drawing your attention?
Yeah, what I'm looking for. First, I'm gonna check under his mattress, because there's always something suspicious under every dude's mattress, every creepy dude's mattress.
I won't say under the mattress, but in order to get under the mattress, you would have to be in the vicinity of the mattress. And on the bed is a heavily annotated, photocopied stack of paperwork. The very first page, it appears to be an incomplete and messily made copy of the Book of Many Wonders.
So yeah, definitely open it up, check it out, see if there's any annotations, any notes, any like loose pieces of paper that fall out.
Nothing to that sense. Let me peek at your character sheet for a second before I do something ominous. Because I need to know, just to be sure, what you're... Oh, no, I think you're safe. Yeah. Based on the skills that you have and the information that you're there's nothing particularly interesting about the book. It is a combination of weird math and then also like not. You have to understand that, like, back then, the boundary between science and magic was kind of non-existent, right? Like, Isaac Newton loved calculus and was also trying to find the philosopher's stone and like turn lead into gold. So like really for them it was like these things we can explain and these things we cannot. So they mixed up a little bit. It's not especially weird, but it does kind of look hindsight silly.
Right.
Someone more math inclined might be able to help you get there.
So not me. Got it.
You have SIGINT, which is the study of cryptology, and
I wasn't sure because for me that was okay. Great.
I only asked two of you to roll weird math dice.
I know
mean...
that's true. You know what? That's fair, and I did not do well, so maybe I'll have better luck with this. But if Agent Ilmatic points out the book, especially after having read about it in the emails, I definitely want to take a look.
Yeah, take a look at this book. This is kind of beyond my skill level.
I'll take a look.
Yeah. So, it's gonna be strange. The text of the book is fairly droll, as I said. It is to the point actually that it doesn't have a lot of. I was making sure that I hadn't forgotten, but I looked in the book. Like, does it say anything about what's in there? And the answer is no, not really. The interesting part is that the book does include the Ileus equation. Would you like to make a second roll?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do. I mean, I do, but I don't, but I do. Oh, that's a 3. That's a really good SIGINT roll, and I think that's really bad for me.
It depends on your perspective. So, here's the thing about the equation. Having been written in 1560, it was very esoteric, strange, and weird. But mathematics has made some significant advances since then. And as someone who studies cryptography, you understand that prime numbers are the really key component to cryptography. Bigger primes, more powerful primes, and the underlying mathematical principles that you learned in college actually make this like not trivial, but kind of easy. And yeah, it appears that way as part of his studies, as part of his desire to play with these puzzles and maybe on his dissertation level, had found this thing and then figured out the solution. So, okay, cool. Not the strangest thing in the world. It's weird, but like in a math nerd kind of way. It's the margins that I think are going to draw your attention, because with that first component, the solution to the Ileus equation 9920.2, etc., you're able now to kind of see the direction that chicken scratch, those various pieces were trying to point. In order, the solution to those equations are the current date and time, your social security number, your age, the latitude and longitude, which if you Google are your home address, and then you solve it, and it's the numbers of the letters, writing out hello, exclamation point, and your real name. So will you roll sand for me?
35 out of 60.
How do you still have 60?
Oh, right. Okay, out of 52. Sorry, 52.
So is that a fail then?
No, 35 is definitely
sorry,
passes. Yeah.
Okie dokie. Sorry, I couldn't remember if you said 35 or 65.
No.
You'll take one, because yeah, math should not predict the future. At least any math you understand. Well, There's some math you understand that can predict the future, apparently.
Yep, apparently. So that that's fucking weird. Okay, sorry. So the number string that we got in the text, right?
Yeah,
Because obviously
yeah.
we got that
Okay.
from Inda and
Mhm.
Ileus. That does that correspond to this result that I've
That's the solution. That's the answer. If you have that number together, whatever the Lakewius equation is, and it's not laid out here for us to see because like fuck, what would we do with it anyway, right? None of us
Sure.
know.
Yeah.
But the numbers on the end are tied to that solution. You can put numbers into the equation and then things come out. One's the set 9920, etc. is a possible solution for that equation depending on what you put inside.
Got it. That's terrifying. Okay, awesome. Unless Ilmatic pushes, I'm not going to share this information with him. I will just let him know that this is creepy as shit. And that this book definitely is coming with us. Not gonna leave it behind.
One small thing. That email,
Mm-hmm.
the one he sent to 12 people around the world,
Mm-hmm.
with the solution to the Lakewius puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I know. And that was gonna be my next thing. Because I can't imagine. Is there a way that we could make it like send out an email, I guess, like after the fact and be like, haha, JK, like don't actually have it, or like, oh no, it didn't do what I think it did, or I got the numbers wrong or something to like try and invalidate that information, and then like block the email, like delete it, like clear it off the computer, try and just like cover those tracks, that list exists.
If you wanted to do social engineering, that would be persuade, essentially to write an email like, LOL JK, by the way, this is definitely way, and I'm just fucking with you. If you wanted to try it on your own with your SIGINT skills, knowing how to manipulate email, maybe you could send something that would spoof. If you believe it's serious enough, you could use bureaucracy to contact ACEL and be like, hey, the thing that we said shouldn't spread is spreading. Let the NSA know, or something like.
Well, Agent Ilmatic, what are your thoughts?
So I've seen you read the book and formulate the equation and come to a conclusion, correct?
Yes.
Would I be able to discern the reaction that you had to it?
Roll human. Oh shit, you got buckets of that.
Yeah, 50. No, sorry. 5.
Yeah, he's got you made.
Great. Yeah, I mean, you can tell that I figured this out, and I'm very concerned about the book, about the contents therein, figuring out the equation. It's got me very stressed and obviously a little worried. You can watch me make the sand check in my head. There's that look. You've seen that look. You've experienced that look, so you know what that means. So honestly, you'd probably know better than to like ask for the details, because you know that it's spooky. In a Delta Green needs to contain this sort of way.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
But I do want to say this. I got a nephew named Laquaeus. As a sidebar. That's for the folk. Yeah. So I see you've come across something that maybe you shouldn't have. But are you sure you can handle it? I'm not gonna ask you too many more details about it, but
it's no worse than anything else. It's actually easier, I think, than some of the other stuff I've been through lately. So
really?
Yeah.
What have you been through? Nah, don't tell me that either. Don't tell me that either.
Nah. So I'm not a bureaucrat. I don't have when it comes to bureaucracy, you would say that I'm not very good. I don't not any better than anybody else. Starting out.
If there were a test and it had like 100 points on that test, there were 100 questions. I'd probably get 10 of them right.
I'd probably get 10. Yeah, I'm not a bureaucrat. However, in other things, I'm a little bit smarter. So if you think that you have if your bureaucracy is high, we can give that a shot. Because I think contacting a cell and letting them take care of the 12 people on this list is probably better. But I don't have the skills to do it, so.
Yeah, I mean, I can give it a shot. See if I can reach out to some of my contacts.
So I'll lay it out as such. A cell will want to know who has been exposed to the equation.
Mm-hmm.
And you will say the 12 people on this list, and also, by the way, me.
No, it would not say that.
Okay. So if you go to A cell with it, we will say that the chain of likely events may lead to you being discovered. So that's the risk there. You could use bureaucracy to not call A cell, but like call your buddy at the National Security Agency or whatever, and just have them like, hey, I have a terrorist foot on this thing. Can you real quick, blah, and get it handled. Or you can use SIGINT to, well, I'll say / and you can use SIGINT to clean that from the computer. So if evidence comes, then it will not be lurking in the outbox, right? So do you want to try both of those things, and we'll see how it goes?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Can I push? Is that...
I will say, yeah, you can push. If you fail, it will be obvious the laptop has been tampered with.
It's a gray box computer, not a laptop.
Yeah.
It'll be obvious that the gray box computer has been
GRT.
tampered with. Or not even but the account, like the mail account at like .columbia.edu. Someone will know that you've been forging STMP headers or some definitely real sentence that explains what you're doing in there.
Definitely real. Definitely real. Okay, I'm going to try it because that was a really bad roll. That wasn't even like close. It was really bad. It wasn't a fumble. It wasn't doubles. It was just really bad.
While Agent Ireland presses her luck, Agent Ilmatic, how did you do?
85.
Which is above, I believe, your score.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it devolves pretty quick into, look, love to help you. Do you have like a warrant or something? Because, I mean, like, you're asking for me to put the full fury of the United States federal government behind this, and you're like, oh, well, maybe not that bad, so they're not going to be able to handle it. At least, if you find a way to get paperwork, happy to help you, but that's not the kind of thing they can sneak under. V's making a face.
I rolled 33.
What's your SIGINT?
50.
So that's a critical success.
Yes, it is. I'm happy
Okay.
I pushed.
So good news, bad news situation. What do you want first?
Bad news.
The bad news is that several people have already opened the email.
Sure.
And there's nothing you can do to that back. The good news is that the ones who haven't opened the email will not be able to. That from your end, I have no idea how this works. You've gotten into the server, you have stopped the email. If they go to click it, it'll throw a weird error, like it'll show up as a blank message. Oh, that's weird. And they'll delete it, and then they will, whatever, go from there.
Can I take down like the email addresses of the people that I know have opened it, just in case we need to give that information over later?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can find that information for you at a certain point. I think it is in one of the sidebars that is nowhere near the page where the actual discussion of this clue is, so I will have to get it back to you later.
Great. Not a problem.
Hey, I found it. There is Kelly Castleman, 29. There is Ben Philbeck. Based on their email addresses, you would know that Kelly Castleman, Her email address points to a public school system in Brinkman, Montana. Ben Philbeck has opened it. His points to Lawrence Livermore Labs in California. Kelly Pletcher points to the University of Columbia, Missouri. Emil Tomlinson, his points to Tyson Foods.
Like the chicken people?
Yep.
Okay, great.
Oh, there's chicken people now.
Yeah. No, Tyson food, they make chicken. Tyson chicken.
Yeah, I got you.
Jesus.
I like Fuck With You, Mark. Fuck With You, Mark is a lot of fun.
Awesome. Then what I feel like I need to do with this information, can I tell based on with my critical, can I tell when these emails were opened?
I don't know about that. You'd be able to tell when they were sent, when it was sent.
Yeah. Okay. Because my thought is that we should kind of start keeping an eye out for other examples of people going crazy, or alert a cell of this so they can dispatch different cells to the different places, and keep an eye on it now, if we haven't seen anything yet.
It is not only a good idea, it is your responsibility as agents on this mission.
Great.
There's one final thing I will draw your attention to, because I think it got slipped over, which is the papers on the desk next to all of things. It's wearing the same equations. Now that you know how it works, it's fairly easy to resolve those with the information that you have. It gives you a couple different sets of numbers. There is 10.12.10.921, which is then followed by 40.796901 and negative 73.968158. As a Sigantier and a military special, what do you want to go ahead and tell me?
Oh, I was just gonna guess IP address and coordinates.
Half right.
Oh, shucks.
Those are latitude and longitude numbers. The first one is a time code for I forget the exact name of it, but it is a time code. But yes, it would spit out to you essentially 9:21 in the morning on the 12th of October, and then latitude and longitude.
What day is it today?
It is today.
Yeah.
The murders happened on the shit. I thought I could remember. I didn't. On the 12th. So that was yesterday.
Okay, so yesterday was October 12th.
Mm-hmm.
When was the email sent? Was it at 9:21 in the morning? Just by chance?
No, but that'd be funny.
It would be funny.
No, to the best of your knowledge, based on what you know about the case so far, that time does not ring any bells to you.
Okay. Did you? I'm so sorry if you did. Did you give me the time that the email was sent?
No, it's not super important. And
okay.
It was just in the morning before, before 9, and then also before the murders.
Okay, so yesterday morning before the murders, before 9 a.m. Cool, great, fantastic. What happened at 9:21 a.m.? Well, okay, so make sure we gather up all these papers, because we're definitely not going to leave any of them behind, because we do not need anybody finding them.
Just gonna clear this place out?
Yeah, absolutely. Also, for funsies, what are the coordinates?
Do you want to just slap into Google?
Yeah.
Okay. They point to the headquarters of the 24th Precinct, New York Police Department.
Okay, great.
You all made a face. What's going on?
It just is weird, isn't it? That's weird.
I don't know what's weird. Do you think it's weird?
I think it's weird.
Why is it weird?
Why? Where is the 24th how far away is the 24th precinct from where we are?
I don't know the answer to that question, but
Okay. It just
it's in New York.
No, fair. So I guess my thought is like I was expecting it to be the house, right? It's not the house, it's a precinct. What precinct? That's not the precinct that is taking control of the case, right?
No, different state.
So yeah, exactly. So like
I'm going to say that you're having this conversation with Agent Ilmatic.
yeah.
Right. And we do have a weapon that's been missing, right? Or a mysterious police weapon from the not too distant past. Maybe that's where the weapon could have come from.
Okay, well that's a neat angle that I hadn't considered.
On that, I feel like Agent Ileus, that was a piece of information you wanted to explore, yes?
Where the shotgun had come from, yes.
And the crime scene we've kind of gone through and you haven't seen anything. So is it fair to say that while Agent Ireland and Agent Ilmatic are blowing each other's minds with the demon math, you and Agent Inda would then be proceeding to the evidence lockup?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, the gentleman who works the desk is a perfectly reasonable, perfectly old, like semi-retired police officer. Got a couple more years before he gets to collect his pension, so they've given him a nice, easy job. You present your credentials. You are listed on the case, so you are allowed access to the however you'd like. What is it I can do you for here?
I'll put my gloves on. I'd like to look at the shotgun, please, and any casings that, basically any evidence from the crime scene.
The evidence that has been collected so far, and just is it's covered in Michael Way's fingerprints. As I said, it's a Remington 870 police shotgun. It is well oiled and maintained. It holds 8 rounds, including 1 in the chamber. The weapon has been fired repeatedly. Serial number 2022998.
I recognise that as being some of the numbers that are in the sequence. Do I?
Oh man, yeah, you don't have to roll because
Yeah.
they're right there.
Yeah, as I say, they're right in front of me. I can see that.
They are spray painted. You can see it from a helicopter.
Yep. Wow. So the serial code for the rifle is there. I'll turn back to the police officer. Have they tracked where this weapon come from yet?
This gentleman, I'll say that the local authorities are a lot more interested in stopping children from speeding or doing drugs than they are solving crimes. This is not the kind of town that has crimes that need solving to that degree. He's very much out of his element. Also, this is a federal case now, so the FBI is the one in charge of those kind of things. He's just here to make sure no one steals the gun. In the meantime, you would be able to find that information out with a bureaucracy check.
Ooh, bureaucracy. I don't do that. Let's do that.
And that's just a matter of calling someone who knows a guy and hey, can you run this number for me real quick?
That is a 32 out of 60.
Yeah, the serial number indicates it was sold to the state of New York in the summer of 1959 and relocated the 24th precinct in New York City as a weapon for use in riots. It's a utility weapon, as it is distinctly called. According to the records, as far as the city of New York is concerned, the weapon is still there.
Wasn't stolen yesterday morning at 9:21 or anything.
Whatever the database that you're looking in that has that information just says it's still there as far as they know.
And you said 19. Did you say 1954 or 53?
1959 is when it was sold.
Well, just gonna write that down. Okay. Does it have anything else on the gun, as in when it was made and where it was made?
No, that information kind of slips away from the crux of our adventure into Haunted Mass.
Can I do a search check on the shotgun to see if there is anything that looks out of place on it that might potentially be like a hidden compartment or something that might have come out of it that wasn't a shell?
There's no need on that end. Like, yeah, no, the clues are there. You've gotten what you need to do out of this weapon.
Okay.
In terms of solving the unofficial investigation, there is a slightly bigger question of they still think they own it, so that's something you could look into. But good news is you've already got friends in New York City. They could handle that for you.
I will relay that to Agent Inda for them to slow text it to them.
On it.
So Agent Ireland and Agent Ilmatic, you will get that information in a moment. But Agent Ileus and Agent Inda, as you depart the station now, once you have your information, it is not the quiet, unassuming evening that you see. It is a bright, bright spotlight in your face. And before you can blink, your eyes adjusting to the outdoor light, there is a face and a microphone being shoved in your face. Enrico Sabe, Channel 17 News, the voice of Northern New Jersey, here with FBI agents assigned to the case. Sir, are you going to tell us what happened?
It's still an ongoing investigation. We don't have anything fully solid that hasn't already been divulged to the media. Once we do, there will be a press conference that will be held to give you that information.
You mean to tell me that the Federal Bureau of Investigation hasn't made any progress on this horrible crime that is stalking our neighborhood? Could there be more people? Will there be more victims?
I'm afraid I cannot comment on that at this time. As I said, there will be a press conference that will be held by my superiors later on.
Sir, innocent lives are at stake. Is there nothing you can tell the good people in New Jersey, the good people who pay your salary?
Unfortunately, there's nothing that I can comment at the moment.
He's turning back to the camera. Well, you've heard it here. Enrique Sabe, Channel 17 News, the face of Northern New Jersey, live here with the FBI, who are admitting they know nothing, have no leads, and the killer is still at large.
Sorry, you've got your information completely wrong.
Oh, did I? Are you happy to correct the record now?
The killer... Okay, right. All we know at the moment is that the killer has killed a innocent family of this local town, and then he turned the weapon on himself. So the killer is not at large. Investigations into the mental state of the... I was going to say victim then, but it's not victim. Suspect.
Perpetrator. Yeah.
There we go. Perpetrator. Into the suspect are currently ongoing, and once we have a more definitive reason as to why it was that he did this, we will then be able to provide more detailed information to the public. At this present time, those investigations are still ongoing, and we cannot comment on it at the moment, I am afraid.
Is that true? And he's now shoving the microphone agent in his face. You don't look like a suit. You look like someone who might actually know what's going on. Can you tell Enrique Sabe, Channel 17 News, the voice of Northern New Jersey, what the people actually need to know?
All I can tell you is that we are working very hard to find out all the information, and our thoughts and prayers go to the family and of the victims and the friends of the good people of this community. We're working very hard for them.
Well, you're here to hear, folks. One killer down, possibly more at large. And despite 2 days of full investigation, the authorities still have no clue. Is it ineptitude in government or a cover-up? We'll continue to investigate. Enrique Sabe, back to you in the studio.
I will walk away very swiftly, and then when I'm out of earshot, I will say I hate journalists.
I will shake the journalist's hand and say, "Oh, pleasure to meet you, pleasure, and then we'll go.
He will pursue you right up to the car, continue to ask you questions. Now, off the record, like there's no lights, the camera's gone. It's like, do you mean to tell me you still don't have any idea? I mean, what are the odds that someone just drives out of New York to kill a random family in the middle of New Jersey?
It is indeed fascinating, and we are looking into every single corner we can to investigate why and all of the important information, but we can't divulge that yet because we are working very hard. We want to get it right to tell you, obviously, and the people.
And why is it no one's talking about the obvious occult and satanic implications?
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by obvious?
Everyone's seen the math, the numbers on the street.
Well, yes, we have very highly trained mathematicians looking into it as we speak.
So you mean to tell me that whatever this is, it's just we're all supposed to believe that it was a math teacher gone mad who drives an hour and a half away from his house to kill people he has never met in his entire life?
Well, the stresses of young students can be extremely hard, and you know, all the pressure upon the poor lad. You know, these things happen, sadly.
Due respect, it's a PhD. It's not Vietnam.
Did you go to college yourself?
Yes, I have a master's in communications.
Yes, and I'm sure you remember how difficult it was to get to that point and how much pressure was on you.
And yeah, I agree with that. You know what I haven't done under that pressure?
Yes.
Murder a family of 8.
Indeed, that's what we're investigating. But it does look that way. The pressure was too much for the poor boy. Poor family.
And so the Agent Ileus at this point is probably pushing like a Looney Tunes cartoon, pushing Agent Inda into the car.
Oh, no, it's a pleasure to meet you. Take care. Look after yourself, bud.
It's more that I'm already in the driver's seat and I've sort of got my hand around like where the belt is and I'm trying to pull them into the car.
Well, he is not so fool as to get into a car chase with authorities. So you'll be able to press on without too much trouble. That gives time enough for Agent Ireland, Agent Ilmatic to get the text message with the information that confirms your suspicions.
Looks like you were right, Ilmatic.
Freaking told you so.
Yeah. It's curious though that it's they haven't noticed it's missing.
I mean, stuff goes missing from evidence lockers all the time. Cops are shady as hell. That's a given.
It's not Aaron, correct? It wasn't in evidence, right? Or was it?
No. So
Yeah.
Well, it is in evidence now.
Yes.
Prior to that, it was in storage at the 24th.
It's in storage.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So he must have somehow found his way into the precinct, found that shotgun, which, and like I assume that I've gotten all the information from Inda, which includes like the serial number and all of that.
I don't know. Make a luck check. She might still be, or he might still be.
35. Yeah, he finished.
Mm-hmm. Semicolon, close brackets.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean the numbers kind of match up to the numbers that were on the street, and there's a reason. Like there isn't, I don't believe in coincidences. Nothing about this feels like a coincidence. So somehow he got into the precinct, went to storage, found that specific shotgun, and got out without anybody noticing, or if anybody noticed, nobody recorded that anything had gone missing. So we should probably head to the precinct and try and get the story there.
I mean, it works for me. Or sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say yeah. We should definitely just see what's happening. They're probably kind of worried about a missing weapon. That isn't part of a 9-person murder, but yeah.
Well, I mean, and you're a federal agent. They'll respect your badge, right?
I'm a Postal inspector. They better.
Postal inspectors have very bad luck in this series.
They do, actually. Really bad.
Now you fucking tell me.
No,
I thought it was hardcore.
so first of all, postal inspectors are hardcore.
Yes.
I know.
It's crazy. But Josh was playing a postal inspector in Lover in the Ice, and he ended up deceased.
Yes.
But yes, postal inspector has a reason to be investigating these kind of things. That you can, I'm tracking down mail crime, and that's some real shit. So they will be at least professional with you as you go into the building, and you can get past reception to the storage desk. The person who is responsible for the armory is Sergeant Marvin Herrera. He is also a distinguished veteran of the force. When you come in, he is reading a tabloid newspaper, one of the saucier New York rags, kicking his feet down off the desk to look up to you. He says, yes?
Sergeant Herrera, was it?
Yes. And he kind of stiffens up a little bit.
Yeah,
Armory, 24th Precinct.
Yeah, thanks. All that. Yeah, thanks. Agent Ilmatic, flash badge real quick. Put it back. We hear about something that might have been locked up in storage from a couple years ago. Might gone missing, might not, but we're trying to see if it's still there. And honestly, the quicker it says, the quicker we get out of here and get back to reading whatever the hell it is you're reading.
I didn't mean to imply that it was pornographic. More like it's just it's in the space between Bat Boy spotted in Ohio and like celebrity trash rumors. So a little left of what's Kim Kardashian doing these days, and a little right of Satan is coming out of a hole in a coal field in Pennsylvania. He's happy to cooperate. You're just investigating. If you give him the information about the weapon, he can confirm that, it's here. He will go with you to the arms locker. There is a wooden, like an ammunition box. The kind where the weapons will be in it, packed with not straw anymore. It's not like 1840, but packed away. And he's gesturing at it because the box is nailed shut, completely sealed, in original condition almost.
What?
Okay, so this is weird. Yeah. Can we open the box?
Yeah.
Can we open the box? Let's see what's inside.
It will take some kind of social role, or I could take law, bureaucracy, to convince him to go along. You'll need to have a reason otherwise he's gonna be like, well, yeah, we can get some paperwork. Do you have a warrant? Because at this point, if it's missing, it might be his ass. So he wants to make sure that his ducks are in a row.
How long have you been working there?
He is a 19-year veteran of the New York Police Department.
Look, if it's missing, it's gonna be your ass anyway. So. But yeah, we can roll on it. I got persuade. I have psychotherapy in Japanese yet. What's the best roll?
Speaking of this horrible box, tell me about your mother.
Agent Herrera. Sir.
No, that's not Agent Herrera. That's just Aaron.
Is that how psychotherapy works? Yeah, any of those things are fine. Whatever you feel you have the best angle on.
All right. That is a 70. So no dice. Wait, where is it? Nah, nope.
He's starting to bristle. Agent Ireland, can you save the day?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm trying to see what I have that could ease this situation.
I mean, anything is fine. So Agent Ilmatic is talking about just need to get in there, see what's up, and he's like, well, I mean, I don't know about that. Whatever. It's not that he's outraged. It's not that he's outraged by the conversation. It's that he's not convinced. So.
Yeah, and human isn't gonna really help me figure out
No.
an angle to run. Okay.
Failing nothing, you can roll human, and I will. Shit. Sorry, I just rolled dice on the cat. She's in my lap, and it bounced off the desk and onto her. And now she's looking at me like the height of betrayal, like you monster.
Sure.
If you want to roll human, I can maybe give you a tip or three, something like that. But
I mean, I can try and persuade.
sure.
Because we don't have warrants technically, but I would like to try and sell him on this idea that, well, all he has to do is just open it up, and then once we verify that it's there, we'll seal it back up and then go, and I'm sure it's fine. We need to verify, right?
If what you say is true, then all we need to do is see it and we'll walk away.
Exactly. 46 out of 50.
Yeah, so you convince him to go along. There's a claw hammer in the storage area. He opens it up, and sure as shit, there's a gun missing. And for his part, going to human, Herrera's fucking baffled. He has no idea. And you can tell that it's not fake. He's like, whoa, no, that should be. He is just as well. No, he is way more surprised than you are that it is not present.
Sure. Okay, so this confirms what we kind of already suspected. Are there cameras in and out of this area, in and out of the precinct? Because what I would like to do is take a look around 9:21 yesterday morning, and see, or I mean, just yesterday morning generally. So after the email was sent, but obviously before he was in New Jersey committing murders. And I want to keep an eye out. I assume we have like photos of this kid, so we know, or this person, so we know who we're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. So yeah, can we see the cameras?
The cameras observe all the entrances and exits of the 24th Street precinct. Watching them for the date of the murders reveals that there was a small period of time where they were replacing a pipe in this room, and some of the inventory had to be moved. It was being kept near a door. There is a split second at which a dog had run away from its owner and was killed in the intersection by a passing car. The guards, including Herrera, were guarding the material while the pipe was being changed. They ran out into the street to handle traffic, to check on the dog, as you would. It was away from the boxes for less than 7 minutes. Would both of you roll an awareness?
That's a 12 out of 80.
65.
12 is good enough, and I'm sure that Agent Ireland will be happy to share that the front entrance camera records Michael Way waiting across the street roughly 20 minutes before the accident happens. He is standing holding an obviously empty gym bag and checking his watch over and over and over again. He suddenly crosses the street to the west parking lot entrance where things are being handled, about 15 seconds before the dog appears on the other camera and is struck by the car. On the parking lot camera, Herrera stands, heads towards the commotion. 5 seconds later, Way walks to the tarps, uncovers the weapons, removes a claw hammer from his windbreaker, removes the shotgun, and replaces the lid in less than a minute. He is departing the last frame at 9:21 a.m.
Damn.
That's great. Can both of you roll sand?
Yep. 59. Unfortunately, I don't make that one.
33.
33 is excellent. You will be fine. Agent Heartland, you will take 1d6.
Ouch, are you kidding?
Mm-mm.
Oh, fuck me.
First problem is that there's future predicting math that this man discovered and is slowly driving him to the point of committing crimes. Math which you also understand and have been exposed to.
I'm sure it's fine, right?
It'll all work out.
So this cat is basically predicting the future and or the present and moving in ways that make it so he can basically do whatever he wants. Based on these equations, Agent Ireland, I gotta know though, you spent some time with the equations yourself. Are you sure you're okay?
Yeah.
Are you sure you don't want to get a shotgun and shoot me and my family and my cats?
I hadn't thought about it,
Okay, cool.
Agent Ilmatic.
I just gotta check.
Yeah. Just checking, Aaron. I haven't thought about it, right? I'm just asking.
Just throw my cat in the street so he can steal a gun or something?
No, but it's weird. The license plate on that car, if you divided it by 992D0.2 and then multiplied it by 2998 and then carried a little bit more, then that's also in the equation.
What does it tell me? Anything interesting?
No, it's just fucking weird.
Okay. I'm sure it's fine.
You sure it's fine?
I'm sure it's fine. I wouldn't tell you about the license plate.
Okay.
As far as you know, everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
So, you have identified the threat. This equation is a problem. You know that he got it out of the book, Mysteries of the Universe or whatever it was. You know that it's been sent to some people. You know that it's in Agent Ireland. You know that maybe the media will see it, has seen it, unclear. You also have yet to establish the what the actual story is going to be, because the answer to this crime, as it goes to the FBI, cannot be haunted math.
Aw, shucks.
Collectively, we can do it above table. Like, what's the next step? What are y'all thinking?
I mean,
I was gonna say we probably should have made some sort of story at his dorm, and we didn't. We were too focused on the story to like make up a false story. Oops.
yeah,
Can we
I mean,
retcon that?
for real.
I think
I
it's
mean,
much more
it's just
interesting.
this dude found, like, in America, he wanted to find his one gun that he needed, and he just gotta find any gun to do this deed. So he broke into the police station at a specific time, at a specific place. All this, and then did this. And it's like, man, it's so hard to make this not just a crime of passion or something. Like, it's so specific.
Yeah. But that's why we should have planted stupid evidence at his stupid dorm, and we didn't do that because we're stupid. I was
Yeah,
too
we
wrapped
should've-
up in math.
No, I like the idea that you like started getting real into the equation and like numbers spinning in front of your face, and then by the way, the book talked to you,
Mm-hmm.
and Michael was like, "Hey, homie," to you
Yeah.
specifically, directly, and at
Yeah.
that point, you kind of forgotten what else you were doing.
It's like that meme with the with all the numbers and stuff, only instead of looking really confused, I look really into it.
Mm.
It's upsetting. Great. Love that for us.
Well, it looks like we have some thinking to do, some plans to make. We will do that off camera as we take our second hour break right at the halfway point. That gives us 2 hours to figure out how to implicate an innocent haunted math fiend in a perfectly normal crime, and then also to figure out how we are going to handle the spread of the Lake-Weiss equation and its solution. Maybe when we're done with that, we can figure out what to do with Agent Ireland. But until then, we'll be right back.
Bye.
All right. We have returned from our break. Hopefully, you've returned from yours. If you haven't, knock loudly and we'll send help. Or maybe not, because we're going to be a little busy with some other people who need help, our 4 agents, as they fight back the Mythos math in the last equation. We had some ideas over the break, some things we needed to accomplish. Agent Ilmatic, I think you had the first idea.
Shit, did I? No, I'm just kidding. Absolutely. Wait, no, actually, I don't remember. Sorry. Brain fart.
You were talking about contacting ACEL and letting them know who had been exposed via the email list.
Dig it. Right. We need to contact ACEL, and there's 12 people that have been contacted about this equation.
4.
And 4.
The
sorry.
yeah, so it just there were 12 people on the email list, but only 4 had
4.
opened it. And I got that information, and the other 8 cannot open the email. It just doesn't exist anymore for them. So there's only 4. But they're spread all over the country. So we have to call ACEL and tell them that they've been exposed.
Yep. So let me make your bureaucracy roll and see, or do I need to for those guys?
No. You would have a way to contact a handler or a middleman who would be able to handle the transaction. No one actually knows who ACEL is or if they even exist. If it's just a pseudonym, the idea is that you got to give the information to someone. There's a boss up there somewhere. And I'm 100% super easy to believe that you will tell them about the 4 people who have been exposed to the math. Are you going to tell them about the 5th person who's been exposed to the math? Because with your human, you saw Agent Ireland's face. You know she's, I believe the poets would say, got it bad.
I'm not going to sing the rest of the song, but damn it, I want to. Absolutely. Well, if the job is to protect people from this information, protect people from this equation, to keep everything under wraps, I am going to imply a little suspicion on Agent Ireland. She's been evasive, if anything.
And nothing worse than an Eltharian agent who does not know that they have been compromised. They say no one retires from Delta Green. You either die on a mission or eventually you become the mission. And Agent Ireland has had a distinguished career with the program so far, but I think she's about to wrap up that any % speed run based on what is currently bouncing around her nugget. And ACEL will be perfectly clear with you. There's no room for ambiguity. If you think that she's been compromised, that if this thing spreads like a virus, and if it's possible that Agent Ireland will spread it, and based on what we know so far, like what happens to people who are exposed to the equation? They kill a shitload of people, then they spray paint the math. And we can't wait a month or a year for this same thing to happen again. That's a problem that needs solved earlier.
Well, you know, it's still something I'm not really sure about. I'll turn the screws a little bit just to make sure.
Of course, you don't want to destroy good government property on a whim, but they are very clear. Like, this is kind of need to err on the side of caution. If you're 50-50 sure unsure, then pull the trigger, because the stakes are too high to take risks.
Understood.
Having you do the it would make sense for you to have this conversation not right next to Agent Ireland, but that means at some point you will come back to join her in the car. Agent Ireland, Agent Ilmatic coming back.
So what did ACEL say about the people, the 4 people?
They said that they would handle it, but they're, well, listen, I'll just be straight up with you. I don't know what happened with you in the book, you in the equation, but I could tell there was something up. Nah, don't give me that look. Don't. I see right through you. Please.
I mean, we had to solve the thing. Like it's just numbers. It's not a big deal.
It's numbers that lead to something unexplained, which also includes many, many, many deaths.
Look, this guy, he was obviously disturbed in like multiple ways, and I think you're being a little coming out a little strong, Ilmatic.
You sound like every guilty person I've ever come across.
Oh, okay, all right. Now I'm guilty. Great.
The voice goes up a couple octaves.
Wow.
So
Okay.
You dropped it there. You might be innocent.
Being awfully defensive, considering he's totally right.
If you just come clean. I mean, just talk to me. We're both agents.
I'm talking. What? Are we not talking? Are we not talking right now? What is there to tell? What is there to tell? We've got numbers. We have. Sorry, I just saw Josh's face. They're just numbers. They don't.
They have no meaning whatsoever, is what you're telling me.
It depends on if you believe the weird cosmology magic of some guy from the 1500s.
Well, that's the kind of shit that people believe every day.
And you think that somebody who believes in that stuff would like be brought onto like Delta Green and like have it be a whole thing? It just, come on, dude.
Yes, 100%.
Okay, Aaron, you're not helping the situation right now.
Like literally, that is how all of you got this job, is
Aaron.
that you experienced something weird that you could not disbelieve, and they're like, yes, and there's more of it. Would you like to help us kill it?
Aaron, can you I think maybe you think you're being helpful. You're not.
Shane Ivey is right behind me, and if he hears me being like, oh no, Delta Green works like this, come buy the books, people are gonna buy the books and be really upset. They're like, what the fuck, you misled me, Delta Green is terrible. Then I'm gonna be in trouble with Shane and Dennis and everybody else.
Oh no, what's happening? Fuck.
Oh no.
I'm back.
Just a small delay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I hope so. Shit.
Great.
And I can't handle that kind of pressure.
I'm just saying.
Also, in character, Agent Ilmatic has entirely too much human to fall for your bullshit.
And that's totally fine. I also am acting, the way that I'm acting for a very specific reasons. So don't worry about it. I mean, worry about it, but don't worry about it.
I think we can agree then that that no amount of pressure is going to extract a confession unless you wanted to take it to a more extreme level, and it does not seem to me like you do.
No, not necessarily, but I've got all the information that I might need to make a decision about what to do next.
Wow.
Since you weren't being honest.
What do you mean?
Like the cops always say, I can't help you if you don't be honest with me.
Wow. Okay. All right. Okay.
Well, it's only fair. I gave Agent Ilmatic. They had the first idea. Agent Ireland, you had the second idea, actually.
I did. So taking a look at all of the notes, one of the things that came up when I was looking at the numbers in the margins in the book, social security numbers, date of birth, things like that. We don't have like a connection to the house, like a reason for Way to have been at the house. I like how Aaron's just disappearing out of view. That's really spooky. But we don't have a reason that places Way at the house yet. Just from like our standpoint, not from like the official FBI standpoint, because we have to work on that too. But we need to give a reason why he was there, figure out why he was there. So what I would like to do is see if Ileus and Inda on the ground on that side can get information about the families, the family members that were killed, specifically their social security and their date of birth, and see if I can do anything with those numbers. I won't. I'm gonna leave out the last part. But I would just like that information, just to see if there's anything patterns. Ha!
I can certainly do that. I already have the date of births written down. I'll have to go back to the case files for all of the social security numbers because I wasn't 100% sure that would be important. And I will I will ask Agent Inda to text those numbers through. We will be here for the next.
Oh, I'm on it.
The amount of time it will take for you to get back to the hotel to resolve the problems that you've already had and such, it doesn't really make sense because at that point, assuming that Agent Ireland and Agent Ilmatic are coming back to New Jersey, they would arrive there about the same time.
Okay, so when they got in the university car in the car at the university to begin driving back, Inda started sending the text message. By the time they got back to the hotel, the text message had just been finished and been sent.
Whatever it takes. We will say that the information has been shared. Shit. In your island, what are you looking for?
So I mean, it's all about math, right? All of these numbers have appeared in the pattern somehow. So I don't know if there's a clue that I can glean from having the like the book and kind of seeing how, well, because it was adding my social security and like date of birth. Yeah, so like the current date, time, social security number, age, latitude, longitude, blah blah blah. So can I like just add all of that together and like all of the information from the family together and see if it like appears somewhere like in the equation or works with the equation or pops out an answer?
For a given value of all the information, which would include a hideously large number of things, and that's fine because I like the idea of you sitting with your notepad with people who may or may not be watching you or at least checking in, and you are going one by one and be like, well, what if it's like the amount that's left on their mortgage plus the social security number multiplied by the year they graduated from college? No, that's not it. Okay, if I add up all the different birth certificates in order and then multiply it by the grade point average each child has, and you're just going through looking for these things, and eventually you will stumble across it. If you add up all their social security numbers, that number is, I don't have the commas in the right place, but it's 9920229988921233.
And if I wanted to try and hide my excitement about something, what would I roll for that?
Well, let's handle things first. The first thing is to roll sand.
Sure. Oh, I'm fine. That's a 40. Out of 50.
Okay.
40 out of 50.
Then the second thing is to contain your excitement. You will spend POW. It'll take 1d4 POW to attempt to contain all of that.
And I take that out of my 12 that I have? Ouch, really? How does that affect my SAN?
It won't until after the bookkeeping phase of an operation.
Okay, well that's only 1.
Mm-hmm. Use POW for things like staying awake all night, forcing yourself through something physical, and it's just a small recurrence. It doesn't get used very often, but we're gonna get a lot of it going this time around.
Great, love that for me. Yeah, so I take one POW damage, but I do a really great job of hiding just how excited I am that I've put all of this information together, and I'm just like, yeah, it's and I'll hold up just the numbers, and I'll just be like, look, it's the sequence. This is why he went to the Ridgeway house, because the social security numbers all line up, and it's that same number that he spray painted outside.
And you just did all that math in your head just now?
I didn't do it in my head. I'll like hold up the scratch pad where there's like thousands of numbers at this point. It's just running the numbers, my dude. It's numbers that were referenced in the papers. You read the papers. You saw them.
I read
they were
the papers,
all right
but
there.
I didn't understand any of this shit.
That's not my fault. But the
Mhm.
information was there. It talked about social security. I'm sorry you missed it. It was there plain as day. It talked
Mhm.
about social security numbers. These are their social security numbers. If you add them all up, it's the number.
This is riding the same train tracks that we did in the car the previous time. So at the risk of just allowing you to lie and not believe the lie each other for the next several days, I will ask Agent Inda. You have a professional capacity for evaluating this kind of behavior.
Is
Do you want to roll psychology?
yes. Yes, I do.
I'd also like to point out that the second time that they do this is actually in front of the two of us as well, so we're seeing this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's obvious that I'm very suspicious. Or at least becoming suspicious.
That's 46 out of 80.
Yeah, I'd
There
say
you go.
that's it. Asian Ireland is displaying clear signs of paranoia and manic behavior.
Mhm.
You don't know a lot about Agent Ireland's background, but in your previous work with her, she has been nothing but composed and collected, like a real snake eater of a lady. And she's gone from that to look at the fucking face she's making right now. You tell me what? The aggression at being confronted by it, the hyperfixation on the math, these are all new signs of something psychological going wrong in the last 6 to 8 hours at this point. In most states, if you could demonstrate a desire to harm herself or others, that would be sufficient evidence to have her committed.
Okay. I'm actually going to. Excuse me, I need to use the bathroom. I'm gonna go and message our bosses and report signs of effect.
Well, here's the thing. You were given in the very, very beginning, you got that message from ACEL, and it said in the very last little bit, there it is. Conceal program involvement by any means necessary per Executive Order 12333 as amended by Intelligence Community Directive 700.1.11. Followed by monitor ICEL for tome rot. Tome rot is a code word for people losing their sanity from being exposed to these various bits. And if you went to Google and you typed in ICD 700, you would find the Intelligence Community Directive that charges every member of the United States intelligence world to protect sources and ensure that dangerous information does not spread. There is no official amendment or annex that is labeled 1.11, but in the Delta Green world, you know what that means. That if this equation were to escape into the world, the number of lives it could affect is measured in the thousands, if not the millions.
Mm-hmm.
So, one person here, one person there, it's a pretty small price to pay for the survival of our species. That's what ACEL is going to tell you. That's what ACEL is going to expect you to do. Whether you are capable of that, whether you think it's a good idea, ACEL's not your real dad. You don't have to listen to them.
So to make it clear, they're saying stop the spread.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Anyone who has been exposed to this, as far as they are concerned, the only possible outcome from being exposed to this equation is to do what Wei did. And it's only a matter of time that every single person who gets it will spread it to somebody else before or while they do something horrific.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a brain virus. It's a mimetic hazard that will just circulate through the brain waves, victim by victim by victim, until there are no victims.
Okay.
Or until Madagascar closes its ports.
Okay. Then I'll return, but keep a close eye on Agent Ireland.
I will say you have a pretty mighty amount of psychoanalysis, and if you were able to convince Agent Ireland that Agent Ireland needs help, and she cooperated with said psychoanalysis, you might be able to talk her off the ledge for a time being.
Mm-hmm. She's not getting to dangerous levels just yet. I'm just constantly looking out for dangerous escalation in order to do that.
A lot of watching and waiting. That has to be very uncomfortable for everybody.
He's not like right in her face, like, how do you feel? How do you feel now?
I'm the only one that has no idea what's going on. I haven't worked out yet.
Agent Inda is not saying it out loud.
Yep.
Just in case it sparks off something.
Well, it's a good thing that we're all together now, so we know that the. So what was the outcome of the social security numbers and all of that? The addresses?
It's that sequence that he spray painted on the ground outside the house.
Right. So
that's how he got, or why he picked that house, that family, because all the numbers added up. So
is that going to be the same sequence for everybody, or is everybody going to get a different sequence dependent on?
It's it's really advanced, right? But like that's the sequence is the key. That kind of like everything that's happened has been contained within that, right? So it just all. So
these 4 people that you said that have read the email that's gone out, they all come up with the exact same number, or is it an adaptable number?
Way sent them the sequence that fixes like the equation that allows you to get the answers that make the equation work.
The number that Way spray painted is the key. It is the master key you need to unlock all the subsequent things.
Oh, thank God that none of us are infected then, isn't it? What?
I don't want to mention any Ireland names, but
do you need some water, Agent Ilmatic?
No, I'm good actually. Do you?
No, I'm great. And I'll pull out a bottle of water.
Suspect.
You two are being rather suspicious since you got back to something happened that we need to know about.
Can we just continue? Right? We still have to craft a reason that Way was dealing with the family in the first place. We know why. We've solved that answer for our people. That part's done. Now we have to just figure out a why for your people, and then we can be done.
Okay. What's the plan? Are we going to craft a lustious affair or something?
It's the simplest thing, right?
Okay. I'll have to speak to the agent in charge and notify him of the origins of where the shotgun come from, at least, just so it looks like that I've actually been doing something while I've been here. Same with Inda as well.
Yes, I'm right here. Hello.
Maybe we could couple that information with the finding of the letters.
Yes, I can write up such letters if that's required.
I mean, we'd have to plant them in the house, right? I mean, I feel like it would be weird for you to just all of a sudden show up with them, but not have reported them at the crime scene, right?
Of course, yes.
Yes. Maybe they were hidden under some floorboards. Be an idea. Good. Anyway, I'll let you people work on that. While I work on my report for the shotgun.
It's a simple matter of psychology to craft an authentic sounding series of letters that show a gentleman slowly sliding into psychosis after being rejected from the love of his life. And then SIGINT to have those emails actually appear in the electronic universe at the correct times.
That's a 3.
A 3 is
Frickin'
excellent. That's an
out of
extreme
80.
success.
Jesus.
Pew,
I only got a 62 out of 50 on my SIGINT.
Oh, that is not enough.
No, can I try and push it?
It's your second push of the day, huh?
Yeah, with SIGINT. Yeah, I know.
I tell you what, I'll do you one better. I will give you a plus 20 bonus in exchange for 1d4 sand. You have the math keys to the universe. What the fuck do you care?
Oh, that's a risk. That's a risk. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Please, please, please don't be a lot.
I was just saying that chat will probably tell you to do it.
It's 2. So that takes me to 48.
What'd you start with? 60?
Well, so it was 60 when we started
The previous
marathon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I started with 53 from the previous one.
Math-wise, that probably means you've hit your breaking point.
On the button, yes.
Hey, great news. When you hit your breaking point, it stops the rest of the sand engine from happening. So had you rolled a higher number, it wouldn't actually be any worse.
Oh, great.
But no, you're struggling for a moment. Like, okay, trying to get the different things set up and spoofing the email address, and it's not happening. And then you just notice the patterns in the numbers. That, oh, if I take the IP address and I divide it by the square root of these 3 things, then yeah, okay, that's right. And if I multiply by 9220, right? And then, okay, yeah. And then next thing you know, you're just staring at a completed, it's working. But that wasn't something that came in internally out of you. You were led there by this series of things.
Yeah.
But like, was it? It's not going to be difficult to distinguish the difference between I just followed the steps, or like you played like the video game when you go to the dungeon and the floor, the bridge springs up in front of you step by step.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, oh no, I definitely found this path. This is me. This is not the game designers leading me where I need to go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the conversation that you might be having with yourself. Or not. I don't know. Denial's a hell of a drug as we go.
Mm-hmm.
But I do not want to sleep on what is the honest to God, the heart-wrenching tale of the century that Agent Inda wrote. Your fan fiction, Heart Be Still. Because it is beautiful and there's honest to God pain there. I wouldn't let any of them read it, because then they're going to have their DNA from the tears streaming out of their face as they hear this horrible story of love and then love lost.
I am a romantic, hot man. Writing it down, pouring myself into it with my beautiful beard that wipes up my tears. absorbs into it.
You have no doubt, and we're Agent Ileus Island Ilmatic to read that. You would also have no doubt that this is convincing evidence. If you put this in front of anyone, they'll be like, holy shit, yeah, no, that checks out.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to the motive. Which means there is one little piece that needs to be solved, and that is getting it into the crime scene where it can be found. Now, obviously, the FBI has already searched it, so if you just put it under the bed and be like, oh, weird, that's there, they're going to be like, no, like, we're not idiots. We definitely did. So I would take criminology or forensics to find a way to obfuscate that evidence in a way where it could be discovered.
I will do, if you don't mind, Inda, I would like to use criminology to find the best place to put it.
No, you two are the agents. Please.
Yes. And we'll be walking around the crime scene again, just going, oh yes, and got psychoanalysis and everything, and going over all of that sort of stuff again. As I find somewhere to put it, that's a 2 zeros and a 2.
Excellent.
That's out of 60, so no, out of 50. Sorry, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's an extreme success as well. No questions to be asked at all. as you go through there's some loose rules about, well, if you succeed, just normal succeed, then they might eventually find out that something is a little fishy, but you'll all be long gone by that point. Or the case will be so closed that no one will care. If you fail, then it's like, okay, well, they'll notice pretty immediately. You'll have to have a contingency plan. On a critical fail, they notice like right away that something is fucky and you are in trouble. And then critical successes or extreme successes, it's pretty much the case that no one will ever know that you did what you did, which is good because now you have a motive. The rest of it's harder to explain. The math part is just obviously the product of deranged mind. So that problem is solved. That just leaves the other half of the mission.
What other half? We're done.
Yes and no. One, I think you've all slept on the part where when Mr. Sabe was discussing the case, he asked you about the math that he had footage of.
We need to get that tape.
And then second to that, Agent Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't there something you want to do?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't need anyone to go with me. I just have to go back to New York. I have to run an errand. It's fine. I mean, we're here. Might as well, you know? It's like an hour away, so it's fine.
Well, I can certainly come with you.
Do you really want to come to New York with me? It's kind of boring.
It's been a while since I've been. It might be a nice change. All this danger.
Not to put too fine a point on it, but after the day's adventures, it is probably getting late. And I think all of these things can be handled in the morning, unless you want to, in the course of a couple hours, in the middle of the night, break into the studio, hope the tape is there, and such. Yeah?
Yes, I mean, we're still on mission, technically, so going off to New York to run an errand is probably not a good idea. You could do that once we've got the tape footage from the journalist.
No, it's, it has to be tomorrow morning. Like 9:30, I just have to go pick something up or something. It's fine. I just have to be in New York at 9:30 tomorrow morning.
Right, but isn't that going against Delta Green orders because we haven't finished the mission?
It's an hour away. It's not like I'm on the other side of the country.
Do you have an appointment? Is it an appointment? I could make sure you get there.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I just, you know, I was planning to go to New York anyway. And this just happened to, you know, I'm happy that we are where we are because it means I can still make that. It's not a problem.
What's interesting is that, at least for me, when I get the call, I have to drop everything. I have to leave friends, family. I got to show up and do this mission until it's done.
Yeah, it's the same for all
okay, I'm sorry you guys haven't figured out a way to make it work for you. I'm sorry. It's not my fault. I just have to run into New York for I have an appointment to keep. Like Inda said, 9:30 tomorrow morning. And you guys can go eat breakfast. I will run to New York, do what I have to do, and then come back and we'll finish it. It's 9:30 in the morning. It's not like it's the middle of the day.
Agent Ileus, you know who else got pretty close to this math and had a very specific appointment to keep at a very specific time and place?
I have not given the place, and I have not given the very specific time.
Yeah, you have an enthusiasm about it. I'm just saying.
As a fellow math enthusiast myself who managed to pass his result.
Which means you don't understand what's going on. I
have no idea what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But your behavior has become a little bit erratic since you've come back. Is everything okay? You weren't like this when I first met you.
You know nothing about me.
No, I don't. But the person that I met was calm and collected and was working with us to complete the mission. Now you want to run off to keep an appointment during a mission when we all know.
Do you not trust that you can handle going to like the TV station to get the footage by yourself? Do you not think that you're capable enough to handle that by yourself?
Oh, I know I'm fully capable to do that.
Okay, so what's the problem?
Everything that we do has to be reported to the higher ups, and we will have to.
As it pertains to the mission.
Right, I'm not going to argue this with you anymore. You do whatever it is you need to do. I'm going to go sort out the evidence that has been left on that journalist's tape. Whatever's going on with you, I hope you manage to sort it out. And I'm going to turn around before she replies and walk out the door.
Great.
Can't take the stress, obviously.
Inda, you're gonna accompany Agent Ireland, of course, to New York.
Of course.
Just make it quiet.
Excuse me?
What?
Make what quiet?
What?
Make what quiet?
I said. I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Yeah, pretty sure you did. Pretty sure I just heard it. Pretty sure we all just heard it.
I didn't.
See, not everybody.
Come on, you have an appointment. Shall we go?
Yeah.
No. What's going on, Ilmatic?
You've been suspicious the whole damn time. I mean, come on, you read the equations, you saw the equations, I can see it on your face. Inda can see it. Ileus is the only one that's clueless, but that's that. You need to be contained.
I'm gonna pull out my pistol and aim it at Ilmatic.
I'm pulling out too.
Now we're doing that.
Never lacking.
Great. What's Inda doing at this point? Just because I need to know if I'm gonna pull my gun on you next.
I don't think he has a gun. I've had a knife
Smart.
on me before, but I don't have a gun.
Smart. I don't like this, Ilmatic. I don't like what you're accusing me of.
If this is how it's got to be, then this is how it's got to be.
Great. I'm gonna shoot. If he's not gonna back down, I'm gonna shoot.
That's one way to handle it. Roll firearms.
94 out of 80.
That is dangerously close to a fumble, but not.
I know.
Weird that you can do the haunted math, but not trigonometry.
A little space Casey right now.
Well, we said that he's an FBI agent. You're in close quarters. You are also highly trained, but you're also not on your A game in that regard. So yeah, like there's that little hesitation, and he's like, I know what's coming. So as you go to pull the trigger, now he's in it, and then pushing your arm to the side enough to where the bullet, the gun comes up and it shoots between you, or it pushes off to the side. Unfortunately, that means you will not. Unfortunately for you, less than unfortunate for him, you'll not be shooting him, not this round. Agent Ilmatic, I was going to say, we're not going to tolerate that kind of behavior, but that's a really polite way to talk about what's going on. So,
keep on things on me. I'm going to roll to shoot. Is what I'm going to do. Roll firearms. Yeah, that is a 26.
Out of
my 40.
Okay. With a sidearm, I believe that would be a 1d10.
Mm-hmm.
That is a 3.
It's a nice wound, not enough to maim even. So we're still in this close combat. Bodies pushing around, difficult. So you've got your weapon coming in, and she pushes it down. So instead of being close enough to like shoot in the chest, it's going through you can't even see where I'm gesturing on the camera, but on the left outside of the gut, like not center, but a nice glancing wound across the abdomen. Agent Inda, you're in the room. There is a firefight.
Where is she?
Agent
As you're in the room, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I mean, you were in conversational distance at the time.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
I'm
right
sorry.
there.
Agent in the room. That was the joke. Moving on.
God. Well, that was embarrassing for me to do on camera.
That's just taken all session for one of those jokes.
Yep.
I would like to try and knock Agent Island out. Right, with a boop to the jaw.
Does it make that sound?
Yes.
Okay.
It's an old technique he learned at Eton. The old boop to the jaw.
Mhm.
Sorry, that was lower. It's first
Gotta go
that
high,
was
yeah.
higher, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a whoop if it's in the gut. It's a if it's in the jaw. They teach you that. Yeah. Okay. That would be unarmed if you're just gonna go in for fisticuffs. Also worth saying, if you wanted to restrain as best you can, that would also be the same roll, but you would be grappling at that point. So Agent Ireland could not fire.
Okay. Well, I'll grab her. You knock her out.
Got it.
No. This is a 60 out of 40.
Oh.
No.
Yeah, you might have 40-year-old man strength, but
No!
Agent Ireland is a trained intelligence specialist or an intelligence support
I might have
activity
called
agent.
out what I wanted.
Yeah, very, very telegraphed,
Morning,
very easy to duck. Let me tell you.
And yeah, when you're trained to operate overseas, the very first thing they teach you is how to spot a boop incoming.
It's true.
That would be the first round, which means we return to initiative order. However, Agent Ileus, you haven't made it that far out. Well, I'll let you decide. Actually, if you're close enough to hear gunshots and you wanna join the fracas, I'll leave that up to you.
I would definitely hear that, not having not long left. Instantly, gun out of holster, run back to the room, kick the door in, assess the situation. I can see that Island has been shot. I can see that for some reason Inda is trying to stroke Island's face. I don't know why. So, and going by the static behavior or erratic behavior, should I say, I'm going to go for Island. I'm not going to shoot.
Oh.
I can see. I'm just going to go over and I'm going to clock with the pistol whip, basically.
I think in terms of timing, the first set of gunshots would be in like a 3 to 5 second window. So that action will probably occur at the end of this round. So we'll let Ireland and Ilmatic and Inda go again, and then you can be assessing the scene at the end of that second round, just so the chronology sticks. Which means we would go in dexterity order. Who among you has the highest dex?
11.
10.
11.
So Agent Ireland and Agent Inda, you go at the same time.
Great.
Wow.
So Agent Ireland, what?
Oh no, go ahead.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna shoot Ilmatic. Like Inda's not. I don't worry about Inda at all. Ilmatic is the threat here. So.
And then Inda, you're just still trying to grapple.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the grapple will have an effect on the firearms. So we'll resolve the grapple first.
Okay.
That's a 40 out of 40.
It counts.
Does it?
Yeah. On is enough. So Agent Ireland, if you're just doing grapple, it's not like she's choking you out or anything like that quite yet. So why don't we just say you'll take the negative 20 pounds on your firearms?
Sure.
Because now you're struggling against both Ilmatic in front of you and Inda behind.
Sure. I think that makes sense.
All right.
42 doesn't matter, baby. Let's go.
All right. Service pistols 1d10.
Yeah. 6. Nice shot.
Yeah. For most people, that will make you about half dead, but not dead.
Mm-hmm.
Means Agent Ilmatic, the bullet piercing through the upper shoulder. Not a sucking chest wound, but you're gonna want to give that some attention. I don't know. I feel stupid talking about gunshot wounds to someone who's a trained medic, so I feel a little bit out of my league, and you would know a better way to explain a shot that takes half of your life force but does not kill you.
Yeah. That shit goes down. In and out. Exit wounds are always bigger than entrance wounds. Exit wounds are usually like big explosions in the back. So definitely a big chunk on the back of his shoulder missing.
Oh,
Besides
Gross. Ugh. Yeah.
well, hey, turnabout is fair play. So I was going to make the joke just with a straight face. If you want to blow her back out, go for it. But I cannot bring myself to do
that.
it.
Aaron.
I just cannot.
Aaron.
Agent Ilmatic, it's your turn to fire.
Yeah, we're shooting. 58 out of what? Out of something good, I hope. Out of 40. Oof.
No, the gunshot wound that you have taken is going to cause a little bit of a problem. That makes perfect sense to me. Agent Ileus, you see Agent Inda hanging, I mean, not impotently, but not to great effect off of the back of Ireland, who, despite that, has the arm still wrapped up and has just put one straight through Ilmatic.
Do I see that? Do I walk in as that shot's fired?
I think, yeah, that's cinematic as hell, right?
In instant reaction is to shoot and point. Would be to shoot and point. No, would be to point and shoot straight at Island.
But shooting into melee with Inda on my back, I'm just saying it's risky, right?
Yeah, we'll see what happens if it fails.
That's a 2. And that's a 1. That's a 12. 12 out of 50. 50? 50? 50? 50.
Right. That's clear enough in the success range to not be I wonder. So it'd be 1d10 with the service pistol.
That is an 8.
Agent Ireland, what is your hit point math looking like?
I have 2 left.
2. Well, I'm gonna say I don't think you're gonna make it out of this, but I think you got a solid shot at taking someone out along with you.
Oh, baby, if you think I'm not gonna try and take Ilmatic out with me, let's go.
Okay, well, we know the dex order is the king now. So, Agent Ileus, what is your dexterity?
My dexterity is 11.
So 3 of you will be going at the same time.
Yep.
I would do the
odds are in my favor.
I would do the traditional, like I've had a bit of CIA training, so I do the traditional 2 shots. I think it's 2 shots to the chest and 1 to the head. I think that's how the CIA do it.
That's pretty standard police stuff all over.
Yeah, I would just like to remind you, Inda's like right there.
Well, it's happening simultaneously. He can yell, "Get
true.
down!" I mean,
Yeah.
So it's up to you, Agent Inda. If you
Inda's just gonna be like, do what you have to do it.
Inda's in it to win it. Inda believes in the mission. Inda's not afraid to die. Inda knows the risks.
Yeah,
So did I, baby. Here we are.
I'm gonna shoot.
Ireland, you can roll firearms too.
I rolled a 5.
Oh.
5. I rolled a 26.
And that'll pass. Agent Inda, what is your... Well, I suppose it's academic at this point. Because what it's going to come down to is Ilmatic's dodge.
I haven't had anybody rolling dodge this whole time.
Yeah, I got nothing in dodge.
But we've also not been giving people the point-blank firing bonus, so there's a lot going on.
What do I roll?
At this point, I think Josh is going to smoke Ireland regardless. Or sorry, Ileus is going to put Ireland down regardless. We're just waiting to see if Ilmatic lives to see it.
3 out of 20.
3 out of
3
20.
out of 30. Out of 30,
Okay, but
sorry.
but my margin was bigger.
That is not how it works, unfortunately.
Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? I don't get my cinematic. I get to take somebody down with me.
No, it's not. It's for I didn't write the
I can
rules.
just cinematically dodge out of the way.
No,
There's your
that's
cinematic.
boring as fuck. Are you kidding? This needs to
I'm like
end in a bloody,
Matrix.
gory mess.
I mean, she does have a point. So you know what? Let's put it in fate's hands, right? Ilmatic, how many hit points do you have left?
Yeah, I got 5 left.
Okay, so here's the thing. I have 1d10, and I'll just say that the half the dodge is just for half damage.
I rolled
Okay.
an 8.
Oh. So then this is going to be this is how it ends cinematically, is that Agent Ilmatic with 1 hit point left is on the ground and as good as anyone else can tell is dead. It'll be the scene where the paramedics finally get there, lost a ton of blood, and like it's going to be an after credits scene where he sits up or comes out of the coma in whatever hospital they have been kept in. Agent Ireland, well, actually, how many hit points do you have? You just had, we have Agent Ileus.
Ilmatic had 5.
Yeah,
I rolled 8, so he took 4.
right. But I'm
I
saying
had
Agent,
2.
and Agent Ileus hasn't rolled damage yet, so it's not over yet. Because if he rolls a 1,
Did you roll 1?
I rolled a 1.
But I mean, yeah, it's
then it actually does come down to Inda.
Oh my god.
Because fists do 1d4 minus well, it depends on your damage bonus, but they do 1d4 by default. It is possible if you succeed in this melee roll. I will say it wouldn't kill Ireland at that point because you're just putting a punch in. It's not like you're gonna reach in and rip her heart out.
Unless you want to.
only if she rolls a 1 on her melee.
Attempt to know my own strength. Holding heart with one hand, stroking beard with the other.
Okay. 22 out of 40.
Ooh.
Nice.
I know what that means.
So, yeah, so Agent Ireland, you're starting to feel like the blood loss, and you are motivated mostly by Satan math at this point. You see Agent Ilmatic go down, and that voice that has it's incorporeal. It's a thought that happens in your head, but reaching your own. It's like, yeah, soon, and then we're gonna go do the thing, and it's getting really excited. And Agent Ileus is in the mode going straight into the drills, trying to get it, and then Agent Inda, now flailing, manages to, maybe it's just like a solid on the back of the neck kind of punch, or an arm that slips around the neck, and you will end up on that last bit of consciousness with the belief, having seen Ilmatic fall down, that you'd at least taken a fucker down with you.
Yep.
For the purpose of time, we can wrap the rest of this up narratively. Agent Ileus, there will be a formal investigation into who the fuck Agent Ireland was and what she was doing here, but because all 3 of you are in the program, that makes it very easy for Delta Green to kind of have its fingers in the pie. And there'll be an unfortunate story in a closed, classified room about an intelligence service activity agent of the United States Army who suffered greatly over the campaigns in Afghanistan and had started to deteriorate mentally, and then needed to take that out on some federal agents. You will be awarded by the FBI for your bravery in saving lives, even in the middle of another investigation. Agent Ilmatic, I believe, within an inch of your life, you will be in the hospital for a good while. But I actually don't know enough about gunshot wounds to know what the odds of full recovery are. Regardless, I don't know. I would think some amount of living is better than all being dead. And if nothing else, you do have the satisfaction of knowing you did stop the thing. It could have been a lot worse. Agent Inda, after all of this, are you sure this work's cut out for you?
I got it done. Got it done.
You know what? It's sometimes it's your turn, sometimes it's not. Agent Ireland, you are not killed, actually. Obviously, you fell unconscious, and there will be eventually paramedics who come and they secure you. And when you eventually come to it, you will be in actually what people might consider a very comfortable prison. Because you're not going to Leavenworth, you're not going to Sing Sing. No, you have a gift. And the program knows exactly how to use gifts like that. Now, they're not going to let you near any firearms, of course. They're not going to let you out of the cell. But they'll be happy to give you the kind of puzzles that they need solved. You can live the rest of your days doing the ones that they give you on paper and the ones that they don't in your head. As every day the voice whispers a little bit louder, because mechanically every day that this equation sits in your nugget, you either have to spend POW or take 1d4 sanity or 1d6 sanity damage. So over the course of a month, mathematic average wise, those last little bits of your stability, of your cohesion with the universe will drift away until you just spend the rest of your life doing God knows what for God knows who, but in the name of the good of the country. And that is the last scene of The Last Equation, a mathematical horror mystery by Dennis Detweiler. I love it because when someone solves the demon math, it goes crazy. They do not expect the PvP to happen, and then it does. I hope our cast had a good time. We could ask them now. As Agent Inda, dad hot, old man trapped in a slightly less old man's body. Scarlet, if people want more of beard stroking good time, where can they find you?
You can find me at Lady.Scarlet on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok and stuff. And obviously here.
No, we're gonna run Agent Inda into the ground. Like we did it with Aiden Ireland, and then we'll just keep having you play this character until something terrible happens.
Agent Inda ground.
Ooh.
See.
Yeah, okay.
I was prepared for it now.
Yeah.
As Agent Ileus, finally managing to solve the mission, no matter what it takes. It's Josh. Josh, if people want more Josh. And then they go to josh.com and they realize that's not you, that's somebody else. Where should they go?
You can find me on Twitter at DefawnKnight225. You can also find me here at Queen's Court Games doing various different things, running things, playing things, editing things, all those sort of things. Lots of things.
Things.
If you have questions about things, you can write us an email at things@queenscourt.games.
Go make another fucking email. I swear to God.
Well, before you do that, V.
Yes.
As Agent Ireland, now solving Eldritch math for possibly good purposes. You really
couple weeks at least. Oh yeah.
Yeah. If people like hypothetically, if I were running a show and I was like, I want someone to come onto my show and like murder the other players in a fit of insane mathematically driven crazy combat, where should they reach out to you?
You can find me on Twitter at V is for Vampire because my name is V and I love vampires. But you can also find me here at Queen's Court Games doing all sorts of things, running and I don't know. I'm in everything. I'm in Astral. I'm in this. I'm in all of our secret stuff that we have coming up that's really cool and exciting. You can also just like if you want like exclusive art that I do, you can also just go sub to our Patreon because Scarlet and I do exclusive art every month for Patreon. So if you like art, you can sub there, and that's really cool too. But yeah, Queen's Court Games.
And lastly, our incredibly, wonderfully, super special guest. I fucking love Mark. I want more of Mark. I think we're gonna do Red Markets, and I think it's gonna be Mark's fault because I want
single.
Red Markets.
Now I changed my mind. Never mind.
Nah,
joining us for the last time.
I can't come back.
Oh, sorry
From
guys.
Everrealm Adventures as Agent Ilmatic, surviving only just. It is Mark. Mark, if people want more of you, tell them where they can get it.
First of all, I want to say that I'm extending the list of black guys that survive horror stories. I'm one more on that list. But please find me at More the Merrier on Twitter. Love y'all.
And of course, Everrealm Adventures. We'll drop a link to that as well in our chat bot. I am Aaron. I've been your storyteller. If you want more from me, first of all, I'm surprised. Second, you can go to Twitter at Aaron in Words or follow projects that I am leading or involved in at Queen's Court RPG. A special thanks to everyone here in chat. Do not leave because we are about to handle our giveaway. 2 of you are going to leave with a copy of the Handler's Guide. 1 of you is going to leave with the entire Delta Green Starter Pack slipcase, which includes scenario books, all kinds of extra stuff. So hang tight. But before we do that, we have our Duke tier patrons, Ben and Callie and Mark, not this Mark, different Mark. Super glad for your support. That is why we are allowed to have people like Mark here on the show. And aside from that, 9920.22, 9989, 212.33.3. Stick around for the giveaway. And then we'll call it there.